Hello everyone. This is your hellhound race queen, Saerin, and welcome back to hell. Hello. Welcome in. Hello 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐭, hello Adele, hello Agent, hello Luna, hello Shockwolf, hello Phoenix, hello Ryan. The usual scuff? What do you mean scuff? What do you mean? There's no scuffage. I've been meaning to catch you again. Hello Fazbear, welcome in. And happy Halloween to all of you. Happy Halloween. I didn't really prepare much for Halloween. I didn't really. Because aren't I scary enough as a hellhound? There is a pumpkin in between my armpits though. There truly is. Which one is it? Is this little guy? Hello fan, hello. Happy Halloween. Pumpkin spice deodorant. Do you think that would be good? Yeah, I thought, you know, as a hellhound, aren't I scary enough? Aren't I the horrifying creature? So, not much to dress up as. But lately I've been feeling some kind of presence. I've been hearing strange noises in the middle of the night, specifically between midnight and 6 a.m. Some sounds going her. Oh my god, that is honestly horrifying. What? What is that? Hi, everyone. Would you like to say hello to our special guest? I think they're just a neighbor coming by trick-or-treating. What's your name, little guy? What's your name? Oh, you want us to call you Freddy? Everyone say hello to Freddy. I don't remember leaving my door unlocked. I don't remember. How did he get into my bedroom? But it seems like we have a special guest now. Calling Freddy a little guy is crazy. He's just a little guy. Look at him. It's Freddy Fastball. Maybe one of our neighbors hired Mr. Freddy to be a little party trick for all the interns here. Isn't that nice? Is it anyone's birthday in the chat? Anyone's birthday? Maybe it's a cute little birthday surprise. Say hi. Oh, he even has a birthday microphone ready to sing songs for everyone. Does Freddy sing songs? Oh. Boss, why are you scared? I'm not scared. Hellhound versus Mr. Freddy here. I should be able to win, right? It is alarming how it's copying my mouth movements though. Why is it doing that? But it looks like we have some free live entertainment for today. Everyone wave and say hello to Mr. Freddy. Woo, hi Freddy. It's probably good. It's probably for the best. I didn't prepare much for Halloween, so it's good to have Mr. Freddy here for extra entertainment value. So are you feeling entertained, everyone? If you say no, Freddy's gonna eat your face off. I know you are, but what am I energy? I'm not Mr. Freddy. You think I look like Mr. Freddy over here? That's so rude. Take that back. Take that back. Okay, Mr. Freddy, can you sit in the corner? Oh my god. Honestly, the more I look at Mr. Freddy, the more alarming he appears.
I don't know if I like him. Why? He needs some dental hygiene. The bite of 25 is so uncanny, right? And what? He's, oh my god! He likes sniffing my armpits. Why does he do that? This seems accurate to the game. Like, he'll just pop up behind your shoulder. Like, look at that! He looks so scary. I don't like it. I don't like it. But as a strong, fearless hellhound, it's fine. It's fine. It's completely fine. A little peekaboo. He's a little sibling that just wants to annoy you. I don't want my little sibling to look like this. Freddy Freak Bear. Now, no name calling. He's a little weird, but he's our special guest for tonight. Hello, I've arrived. Hello, 𝐒𝐴𝐚. Welcome in, welcome in. Why is Freddy behind boss right now? Freddy is our special guest. Yes, a lovely neighbor dropped him off on my front doorstep. Isn't that great? He's the adopted sibling. So we're choosing to be with this guy? That's almost worse. That's almost worse. But yes, I personally didn't dress up today because, oh my god, he's getting closer. I didn't dress up because I'm too old. I was in a call with all my friends last night and we were asking each other if we had any Halloween plans, and we're all like, no, we don't have any Halloween parties or trick-or-treating to go to or anything like that. And instead we started making plans to go horseback riding. That's how you know. That's how you know we are income employees and too old now. We're gonna go horseback riding over the weekend instead of any Halloween parties. Yeah. You cross a certain threshold in life where instead of going to get candy or getting drunk at a bar or going to Halloween parties, you go horseback riding and play League of Legends. After tonight's stream, do you know what I'm doing? I'm playing League of Legends with 𝐒𝐴𝐚. Isn't that horrific? What's happened to us? She asked me, she was like, do you have any plans, say, for Halloween tonight? I'm like, not really. I just have some weekend plans. And she's like, so, League after stream? She's disgusting. She's a bad influence. 2 years sober for me. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, but I also want all of you to play League with me, so... Just letting you know, the current game theory timeline is fine, but with the most recent game, there's more information. Ooh, but it says it's the complete history of FNAF. Are you saying they lied to me? I crossed that line like 15 years ago. I have ascended beyond 𝐒𝐴𝐚𝐥𝐬. Well, that's why you are in hell with us. Away from the land of the living. No League hating. One of my favorite Oshi loves League and has 100 streams about it. I'm too scared to stream League with all of you because even though I'm a League addict, I still have a sense of consciousness, a sense of responsibility, a sense of knowing that it's wrong, you know? I'm sentiently knowing about the wrongness. So I know that if I start streaming League of Legends, all of you will leave me. So I'm trying to avoid that. Just got here. Hello, Daddy Corn. Welcome in. FNAF vtuber. His timeline is 10 months ago. I will say League lore is peak gameplay. You like the League lore? I think you're more down bad than I am. How do we leave with the shackles on our legs? Well, I need you guys to still stay emotionally connected, you know? Once you start disassociating and not feeling it anymore, that's when we have issues. Phoenix, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. League has lore. Of course League has lore. Didn't you watch Arcane? The hit, what do you call it? Hit Academy Award winning series, they not only have lore, but they have lore. I'm still shocked about the scene where there are girls kissing in the prison. Not my choice. Not my choice of locale. Like, if you were a lesbian imprisoned and a war was about to break out the next day, would you have lesbian Lex in the prison cell? I don't know. I don't know. Like, the world's ending, I guess. Maybe. I mean... I mean... If it's 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭, then yes. Things are gonna get infected down there. Yeah, this is like how you start a zombie apocalypse. By having lesbian Lex in a prison cell the day before a hex tech war breaks out. The way the gay of Arcane didn't convince me to watch it. Huh? Why? How, 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐭? There's girls kissing in that show. You should watch it. High risk, high reward, I guess. Exactly. But do you guys do anything to celebrate Halloween anymore? Do you do any Halloween funsies? Do you have any weekend Halloween plans? Or are you all also old? Is this the way how to filter out your audience to stream on Halloween night and then see who shows up, and you know everyone who's still remaining in chat are hags? I feel like that's how you do it. I'm too scared to go outside, that's fair. There's children running amok. Usually I play Alan Wake, but that was more important. I go to my local haunt. Ooh, that sounds fun. And scream my adult head off. Just cause it's true doesn't mean it hurts less. Yeah, the horror of Halloween evening is facing yourself, looking in the mirror and seeing if you've grown any new wrinkles. Self-confrontation. Happy Halloween, Hellblazer. It's morning here, so it's fine. The morning after. It's not dark enough outside yet. Well, as you can see from outside my window, I live in a high-rise, so I don't get many children frolicking about anyways. And if I did, I have exactly 2 Kit Kats prepared on my desk, armed in case I need to give out candy. You know? You know? I was like looking through my cupboards. I'm like, what do I have? What if a child shows up at my door all like, ooh woo, trick or treat? And then it would be so shameful if I don't give anything out. So I looked through all my cupboards. I looked through my fridge. I looked through my drawers to see if I have anything to give out. And I have exactly 2 Kit Kats, some rock candy from my Tokyo Treat snack box, the Japanese snack box, that are shaped like Mount Fuji. And I have a pack of spinach in my fridge. What do you think a kid would be most excited to receive out of those options? The 2 Kit Kats, the Mount Fuji shaped Japanese candy, or the bag of spinach. Whoever gets the rock candy is gonna be so confused. That one's the most premium, I feel like. Straight from Japan. They're shaped like Mount Fuji. Maybe if they say like trick or treat, I'll say like konnichiwa back. Did you say spinach? I did, spinach. I think Freddy's making fun of you. He's lip syncing you behind your back. He's such a freak. I think he's obsessed with me. Freddy is so obsessed with me, honestly. And also, is this true to size? Like, oh my god, how big would he be compared to me, do you think? Cause isn't he huge? All the FNAF costumes, I have seen FNAF costumes out in the world. They're always huge, and I don't understand. 6 feet, oh my god, look at him. He's just floating over there. 6 feet tall? I'm like 5'7". So is that 6 feet tall including the hat or without the hat? Which version? That's a scary question. I don't want there to be more than one version. Even the live action movie Jim Henson animations are that huge. 5'7" with pumps. I gotta count every little bit of me. A good number of animatronics are near 10 feet, so yeah, he's huge. That's true. That is true. That is true. But all right, everyone, are you ready for us to get educational? Today, we are going to be watching some FNAF lore. We will be learning everything you need to know about Five Nights at Freddy's with the Game Theorists videos of FNAF.
Thank
the
you for
ultimate
the
timeline.
biddies.
Yum, 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 yum. Thank you for the biddies. Bear with me. Spooky time. That's right. Spoopy, 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 spoopy time. Spoopy time. So let's head on over, shall we? Let's go. Let's go. We did play FNAF for the first time last week. FNAF 1, the first game. And it was nothing like I expected. It was nothing I expected. To be fair, I've never watched any FNAF gameplay in my life, but I thought I watched it. That's the problem. I thought I watched it, but I didn't actually, and I think I was thinking of something else. Like, I thought we were in some kind of factory and you got to walk around. But that was not the case at all. You're stuck in the security office going boop, 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 boop. Just waiting for your downfall as spoopy things come and eat your face off. Yeah, not the same. Not the same experience. But I did like it. It's like pattern recognition. A lot about the sounds. And there are unique characteristics to each of the animatronics, which is interesting. That was a different FNAF boss? Probably Poppy Playtime. Oh, maybe. I'm gonna have to look that up afterwards. Maybe that is what I was thinking. What's scarier, FNAF or Poppy Playtime? What do you think? No feet. Which one's scarier? Okay, here you sit here, Freddy. Sit tight. Don't disturb the people. There we go. I like how he's just like peeping a little. Poppy, FNAF. I hope you're watching the right one. I think so. I think so. Personally, Poppy for me, because it's better at atmosphere. Both are scary. Hard question, but for me, Poppy Playtime is scarier. That's the one with the freaky doll, right? I feel like whenever you bring out dolls or plushies or things to do with children, it somehow has a scare factor multiplier. Like, why are so many people out there trying to ruin our childhood? Don't you think that's messed up? But all right. We're gonna be watching FNAF The Ultimate Timeline Part 1 from the Game Theorists. I've never actually watched any videos from the Game Theorists, and I've also never watched anything related to MatPat. A lot of you were mentioning MatPat before. My knowledge of FNAF is absolutely... well, I wouldn't say zero now that I played the first game. I would say my knowledge base is like 15%, maybe. Maybe, and I don't know if that's reaching or not. But listening to this game theory guy, like I tested volume earlier, and he talks like how I picture MatPat would talk. Do you know what I mean? Last time on the Game Theorists. So it's very YouTuber. It's very YouTuber. MatPat is arguably the GOAT of FNAF lore back in the days. Does he still make videos? It's a crime to not have known who MatPat was until now. My jacket. My jacket. Well, I have heard of him. I've heard his name in the stratosphere, but I've never seen anything. I've somehow managed to avoid that corner of the internet. MatPat retired. Oh, no, bring him back. I like how I have no connection to him, no nostalgia about him, but I'm still like, bring him back. I get sad when people leave. I'm suddenly attached. He has a family, so does Felix. Why did I mention Felix by his real name? What's his username called again? You know, Mr. Felix, who has a family and lives in Japan now. I know him by Felix. PewDiePie, yes. You see, I'm such a normal person. I'm such a normal hellhound out in the world. I don't know their usernames, but I know him by Felix because I started watching his videos after he moved to Japan, and he's practically just releasing family vlogs nowadays, which are very cute. I don't think he's doing videos. He's doing them somewhat, like he releases one like every few months where it's just like his family and they're like going to amusement parks in Japan. It's super cozy. And I'm like, oh, so nice. Oh, I feel like if you did watch PewDiePie back in the day though, you would feel so old watching his videos now. Because he's just living, I think, the dream life. You know, was a successful #1 YouTuber, earned tons of money, got a beautiful girl, moved to Japan, and now has the cutest child ever, and is living peacefully, making vlogs whenever he pleases. I think he's won in life. That's what every weeb wants to be. Including me. A normal VTuber in this community economy, impossible. Impossible. The man wanted life, exactly. Boss is a normie. Yes, I'm a very normal person. Very normal. So yeah, I don't know anything about these internet culture people. I've heard of them, but I don't know much. So let's learn about not only Five Nights at Freddy's, but the game theorists at the same time with this video, shall we? Let's go.
Today we end the torment. 19 books, 11 games,
19 books?
whole years.
There are
all
books?
leading to this moment. The
There are
ultimate
books?
FNAF timeline
Why are there
is
books?
finally complete. The pieces are in place for us. Now all we have to do
19?
is put this story of tragedy, jealousy, and loss back together.
What came first, the books or the
Hello,
games?
Internet.
Oh my god.
Welcome to Game
This is
Theory,
what
the
I
show that feels like a
said.
kid
This
reviewing
is
a
what I
class project
said,
that
how
he's
he
been working on
sounds
all
like
year.
an
Except
early
here, it's a class
2000
project that I've been working on for the
YouTuber.
past decade
Welcome
of my
back.
life. This one is big, my friends. and I gotta
Silverwind,
admit, kinda
welcome in,
nervous.
welcome
I haven't
in.
attempted a timeline video on this franchise since 2018. Back in the days when Mike was the crying child, Afton coming back was actually a surprise, and Fazbear wasn't a phrase I'd ever thought I'd have to utter.
Wait,
But
they're
since the
dropping
last
so
time I did
many
something like this, we've had
spoilers right off the
3 more
bat.
massive games, death and revival of the FNAF movie, and more robot
Hi,
kids
say
that
hello,
you can
Bento,
shake a
welcome
staff bot
in.
at. It is exhausting trying to keep track of this whole
Why
franchise.
was
which
that
honestly is
animatronic
why I'm here
riding a
today.
scooter?
The lore at this point is complicated. It is full of speculation and theory, so to hopefully make it a little easier for everyone and to give us all a baseline
Who
to
is
talk
this
about
guy?
franchise moving forward into the future,
Is this Matt Pat? Is this the game theorist?
But just before I do, I just want to explain a couple of things. First, this timeline is massive.
Is that just
It
some random
huge.
guy?
This thing
That's
towers
Matt
over
Pat.
any
I
we
could
have
sense
ever
the Matt
done
from
on the
his
channel.
face, you
But
know?
when you look at the totality of this franchise,
His
the
face
story
was
of FNAF
radiating,
really
"My name
boils
is
down to
Matt."
the story of one man, William Afton. His successes, his failures, his rise to becoming co-owner of one of the most successful
Found
restaurant
a couple
franchises
clips from
in the
YouTube
world,
Shorts.
and his
Came to say
eventual
hi,
fall to the
welcome, and thank you so
monsters
much
he
for
helped
coming by,
create,
Muslim
only to
Man.
then be reborn in a new digital form later. That's
We're
why I've
learning
decided to
about
split this
FNAF
timeline
today.
into 3 main
Having some
chunks.
chatty
The
chat
foundation of
chats.
Freddy's, how the business started and how it came into being, the Afton era, William's
Doesn't it
decades-long
just
murder
look
spree,
like a
and
Chuck E.
post-Purple
Cheese
Guy.
mixed
Basically
with a
modern
Taco
FNAF,
Bell?
everything that happens after the pizzeria simulator fire. And because there are lots of new big revelations in this thing that seemingly come out of nowhere, as well as just points I want to talk about further, I decided to dedicate one episode to each chunk. I originally wanted it to be one seamless continuous video, but it just felt incomplete without some sort of explanation at the end of each one. Once this whole thing's done, I promise I'm gonna merge all the narrative bits into one massive video so you can just skip my explanations. But for now, this just felt like the best, most satisfying, most
I'm just like, am I on the wrong video?
This is still about the story, the broad strokes of the franchise. So in order to make sure that you guys know that I'm not just pulling answers out of thin
There
air,
are some
not
influence,
only
but
am I
FNAF
discussing
got
some
so
of the more
popular, Chuck E.
controversial
Cheese
bits at
kept
the end of
losing
each chunk, we're also
popularity.
putting a handy little graphic in the bottom left-hand corner of the
Mr.
screen, which will show
Chucky.
thumbnails, video titles, books, and any other citations that we need throughout the video. So if you wish to understand that specific statement in
My
more
brain
detail,
hurts
you know
already.
exactly where we've taken it from. That way you can look into those details for yourself.
This
sit
feels
back,
like,
grab some
you know,
popcorn or your pitchforks if you're the type to get upset when I say
early
something
genesis
controversial, and make sure
of
that you
TikTok.
subscribe, since
There's
this
so
is
many
gonna be a
things
video that you're gonna
moving
wanna
on
come
this
back to a few
video. The
times in
finger
order to
pointy
fully
pointy,
dissect. Without any more
everything.
waiting,
This
I
is for
present to you
like
the story of a
before
loving,
TikTok
obsessive
came
father who
around.
slowly
People with
descended into
ADHD.
madness, and along the way discovered the secret to
Like
eternal life.
there's so much happening.
Our
That's his
story
type of
begins not in the
style,
1980s, or even in the 1970s, but all
You
the
see,
way
it's like
back
the
in
opposite of what I usually watch, which are
1930s. It was the
cooking videos
throes
and
of the Great
vlogs.
Depression, and
I'm
people
just a
were in
girl.
desperate need of cheap entertainment, especially in Utah, one of the state's
Utah!
hardest, fourth highest unemployment in the nation, and full of transients. People looking for work in Salt Lake, finding none, and ultimately moving on to find
Why
their
is there
fortunes
Utah
out in
lore?
California. People were tired and they were hungry, but as they traveled, there was one thing that could lift their spirits.
Oh, it's the
A
famous
simple
photograph.
roadside
She's so
attraction
pretty.
called Fredbear's Singin' Show. The ads were plastered all
Utah.
over town, featuring an animated bear drawn in the popular pie-eyed
Actual
cartoon
history.
style for characters at the time. He
Oh.
resembled cartoons like Mickey Mouse, Felix the Cat, Betty Boop. It immediately said that this
Are we saying
Fredbear's
Freddy's
was
real?
a place where you could bring the family. And the price, honestly, couldn't be beat. For 50 cents, you could get food and entertainment as you watched the local trained real-life dancing bear perform on stage. Normally, you only got to see dancing bears at large traveling circuses. like
Wait,
Barnum
I've seen that
Bailey,
before.
where tickets would go for about
The dancing bear.
$1. That's $1 without food. But this was a smaller show, like the type from the Von Brothers or the Robbins Brothers, where tickets would sell for just a mere 50
Freddy
cents.
before
Watching that bear
Freddy.
do tricks on stage brought a
Look
greater
at him,
joy,
look at
knowing
him
so much was wrong with
bopping.
him. The simple
Oh.
show would go on for years, bringing happiness to hundreds of travelers.
No, I
passing through
feel
looking
bad
a
for
quick meal that
him.
left a
Free
permanent
him.
impression
Let
on
him
one
eat all the
capturing his
visitors.
imagination in a way that nothing else had. One little boy. named
I'm
Billy.
I'm
That
too
was a
easy.
big
I just
piece, but
like
his
I
parents
just
like to
grow
call him
emotionally
Will.
connected to
William.
random
The
things.
bear could dance. It could
No one's
sing.
saying
For
he's
decades,
been
William
mistreated
dreamed
at
of
all, but I'm
recreating
like,
the
free
wonderful
him. Let him
musical
eat
bear
all
life,
his
but
enemies.
how? William was smart, without a doubt. and He had a keen mind
This is
for
my
business,
first
but
time
he
watching
wasn't
one of
the
your
most
streams.
creative.
Welcome,
How do you make a
intern.
singing, dancing bear come to life? The best he could do was using rudimentary costumes. William was inspired by the work of Walt Disney, who throughout the 50s and 60s was pioneering the use of mascot suits throughout his theme park. The big
Ooh.
innovation, suits with 5 fingers. This allowed the performers wearing the
Ooh.
suits to use their natural arms and hands to interact with the guests, as opposed to the older
And
models
hello,
where the
Justin,
arms would just
welcome
hang
in.
limply by their sides. Finally, with a simple mascot suit, he would be able to realize his childhood dream. He would be able to bring Fredbear to life. To appeal to the kids, and for copyright reasons, he changed Fredbear from a realistic brown animal to a cartoonish yellow bear with a purple hat and bow tie. But feeling like one character wasn't enough, he added another friend, a yellow
He should have
rabbit
stopped.
with a purple vest and matching tie named Bonnie the Bunny. While Fredbear was certainly his
Someone
first
show
love,
her the
Bonnie
Russian
was
bear
extra
that served in the
special
army,
because
though.
that was
What
his.
now?
It was an original character that he had created from scratch. And I do mean scratch. William's hand-sewn costumes were rough, seams and stitches visibly showing, but it was the best that he could do. And you know what? It was just enough. Bonnie and Fredbear would perform on stage to small
It don't
but
look right.
enthusiastic crowds.
It don't look
Finally,
right.
He was able to deliver
I respect
fantasy and
it,
fun
but
to
it
all
don't
the
look
kids,
right.
delighting and inspiring them in the exact way that he had been delighted and inspired so many years ago. And things could have ended.
This
there.
started
That
so
could have been
wholesome.
the end to his story. It could have been perfect had it not been for one thing. Other people saw the success of his idea and they wanted in. Enter Chica's Party Hall,
Capitalism.
a rival restaurant starring performing animal characters. His idea, except they did it better. William may have been the first, but obviously he wasn't the best. It hurt the prideful
William,
Afton to admit
no.
it, but this restaurant was able to do the thing that he always wanted to do. Make
William.
the animals actually come to life. All of the performers in this this restaurant were robots, simple metal skeletons that were powered by battery packs, but all of them able to freely turn and talk and dance on their own, no human required. It was like magic that came from the mind of a brilliant creator named Henry Emily. This Henry, in some small way, had been able to harness the power of life itself. Afton admired him. He was jealous, to be sure, but he also looked upon this man with awe. Off to one side of Chica's party world was a small cabaret stage featuring an elephant magician. On the other, a hippo known to ramble on.
Oh my god,
That
it's
one
the
was more of a joke
stage!
for the parents. But it was the main stage that was for the kids. A rocking band of characters featuring a yellow chicken thing with a southern
my
drawl
god,
named
Chica,
backed by a
no!
band of other country-themed characters.
No,
With a
no,
pig with a banjo,
no,
an
no!
upbeat frog from the local swimming hole, and a
Oh, I'm
brown
glad-
bear
I'm
with a
glad I've
heavy
never seen the
southern
frog.
accent. Wait, a bear? But bears were his animals. Why not a cow or a horse? Something to fit the country theme a bit better. Why'd it have to be a bear? And adding insult to injury, they had the nerve to call this thing Ned Bear, a direct copy
We have no
of his
images
own
of Chica
Fred Bear.
undamaged.
That's gonna leave a mark.
No, that was not okay. Afton's jealous admiration turned to hardened bitterness. A bitterness that would only grow over the next couple of years as families continued to choose Chica's party world over Fredbear's. William just couldn't compete with the appeal of the robot.
You see,
Eventually,
from the
his restaurant
beginning,
would go
there
bankrupt,
was
only to get bailed out by,
a hate
of course, Henry
towards
Emily.
Chica
Another insult,
inside
another
people's
humiliation
hearts.
that William wouldn't soon forget. 1979.
Chica inherently
Despite being bitter,
evil.
Afton couldn't deny that what came next was a period of massive success and expansion. With the two franchises now merged into one, it was the best of both worlds. Afton's ideas with Henry's robotic expertise. The two men decided to launch under a new name, Fredbear's Family Diner, a pizza chain that would
Okay.
eventually come to feature a mix of
the
humans
pizza
and
chain
performing
was
suits as well
real.
as on-stage animatronics. They decided to stick with Fredbear as the headliner, considering the yellow bear was easily identifiable as a brand and because he was the original performing animal mascot. Afton appreciated that. This new restaurant would also see a mix of characters as the two franchises merged into one, with Pig Patch
I
and
feel
Happy Frog
traumatized
performing right
already.
alongside Fredbear and Bonnie. And as part of this one big Fredbear family, they even got themselves official merch that were released, ranging from masks to magnets.
The crappy Mr. Hippo fridge magnet?
That
Why?
said, not all the
Why?
characters were winners. The reception to some characters was just mediocre. So they faded away into the dumpster, storage units, and retro budget tech stores of lost nostalgia, waiting for their chance to step back into the limelight if and when a headliner went out of commission. Others, though, would
Can you
fare much
imagine
better, like a
people
new
having
pirate
purchased
box,
that
as
and
well
it
as a
became
blue
something
guitar
passed
playing
down your
variant of the
family?
yellow Bonnie
Like,
Bunny.
some people
Ultimately, the
give
franchise would
golden
get so big, it would
heirlooms,
spawn
and
its
some
own
people give
cartoon
you
show,
Freddy mascots.
Fredbear and Friends. Business was booming. In the end, Fredbear and Bonnie's popularity would be so strong that they
It's
would
like,
be able
hey,
to support the
grandchild,
Fredbear's Family Diner franchise all on
I
their
have
own,
an
while also
original
spinning off a new
Freddy
sister
Fazbear
location
for
dedicated
you.
to their friends. In 1983, Freddy
Lily, thank you so
Fazbear's
much for the
Pizza
follow.
launched,
Welcome
giving a
in.
dedicated home to all this new supporting cast of characters. Chica the Chicken, Bonnie,
Oh my
the
god,
Blue
Chica
Bunny,
looks so
Foxy the
messed up.
Pirate,
Why
and
do
of
they look
course,
so
the headliner
like,
of
look at
Brown
these
Freddy
people.
Fazbear.
Like, look at these. This is not right. There's no way they actually looked like this when they had the pizzeria happening, right? I would be traumatized on site. I would be thinking like, why are my parents trying to sell me to this pizza place where the animals are trying to eat my face off?
Business was good, and Afton was happy, mostly. It did bother him that the one original character that he created, the one that he himself
The
played,
originals
Golden
look like
Bonnie,
this.
got passed over
The
for
withered
inclusion in
versions.
that cartoon
Oh.
show. The only character in the roster of regulars to get ignored for the show, but other than that, things were going smoothly. He had himself a wife, 2 sons, a daughter. He had a thriving business, and best of all, he was able to learn the craft of robotics from the man that he both loved and hated, Henry. Together, they were constantly pushing the limits of what these characters could do. Because it was quick and easy, new characters introduced into the roster would be given a simple hand-sewn suit with 5 fingers that any performer could wear. Eventually, Henry would design one of his signature animatronics for that character, utilizing a divided mouth with either a hinged or sliding jaw design. This was the first generation of animatronics. But why stop there? Afton had big
Should've
ideas.
stopped,
What
should've
if
stopped.
animatronics weren't just locked to the stage, but could freely roam the
Should've
restaurant and
stopped,
interact
should've
with kids? What if
stopped.
his mascot suits could become animatronics? What if you could use more than just rigid metallic skeletons? Why not experiment with tubes and wires that would give the animatronics fluidity and flexibility while still providing structure? The possibilities for this technology were endless. Afton fell in love with robotics. He had started with a dream of bringing one simple
I
really
unbared life,
wonder,
but
did
with
he
robots,
look at
had
these
stumbled across
creations in the
tools that
middle of
gave
the
him the
night
ability to
and think,
control life
that's cool,
itself. And thanks to Henry,
very
he
cool.
was practically speedrunning his way to an engineering degree. And while William wouldn't admit it out loud, one other thing that kept pushing him forward was the desire to beat his former rival, to prove himself smarter and more capable, to surpass the man who everyone else
It's
considered to
like,
be a
it truly
figure of
is a
genius.
face
But
only
pride
your
cometh
parents
before
can
the fall,
love.
and tragedy was about to strike. Okay, so that brings us to the end of part
Hello,
one of the
Mr.
story.
Matt.
That said, at the end of each of these chunks, I want to break down some of the logical leaps that I made, since the more narrative format doesn't give me much of a chance to justify a lot of the big decisions. And
First
admittedly,
creation's
there are
always
some
beautiful, I
large
guess
leaps in
so.
here. Let's just start off with Fredbear's singing show, shall we? We know, based
Fredbear
on the
is so much
retro
cuter,
poster that was hidden in
though.
security breach, that at least at one point, Fredbear was an actual bear. And like I called out in that narrative segment, dancing bear shows were a real form of entertainment. The only problem is that, timing-wise, none of our main characters would be the people in charge of that business in the 30s and a series of pizza restaurants in the 80s without them just being extremely old. Best case scenario, if Afton's running the singing show when he's 18, that still puts him at nearly 70 when the first pizzeria opens and his murder spree begins. That just doesn't make a lot of logical sense.
Imagine if you show Say the VHS FNAF horror animated short films. I'm
suspect that
scared
Fredbear's
already.
singing show was either a
It's
family
too much for
business
her.
that carried on
Joel's
for
like, no, no,
generation, or
no, that's too
something that
much.
saw as a kid and just
We need to
wanted
protect her.
recreate when he grew up. The Fredbear singing show thing also starts laying the groundwork for some of the core elements of this story. That Freddy's was a place of fantasy and fun, and that Afton, despite eventually falling to become the heartless serial killer and mad scientist that we know him as, began his time with
Wait, hold up. Wait, we glossed over that way too quickly. The serial killer? Uh-huh? Oh, that we know him as? I don't know him at all. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What?
and a love of entertaining kids. He wanted to bring things to life from the very beginning, a theme that recurs a lot for him throughout the rest of the franchise. Next up, let's talk about those mascot costumes. One thing that I keep going back to is the design of Glitch Trap. It's a handcrafted suit. You can see the seams and everything. It even has 5 fingers for the performer's hands. It is very much not a Springtrap suit. This is something much more rudimentary. It came at a time before animatronics were a part of the story. That's why I suspect that it was actually the first, predating literally everything. It's also a suit that is very personal to Afton. He put his digital consciousness in that form. It's his personal avatar. It's the way that he sees himself. There's also a whole
I don't
separate
like
discussion
how
to be had
Mr.
here about
Game
the habits and
Theory
rituals of
said
serial
that.
killers. So the
It's
fact
like
that
he
he's
stuffed
choosing
some
to
of his
lure kids
DNA in
kill
there,
them
you
in
know,
this
like he
particular
left a
suit
fingernail
actually
in
says
there.
a lot about his emotional
Some
attachment.
witchy
So
voodoo.
while Fredbear seems to have started as someone else's creation, Golden Bonnie was uniquely William's, giving him a personal connection. And that's not all. In this whole franchise, only one set of characters
He's gonna
have
start fucking the
themselves
bunny,
5
isn't he?
fingers, the Nightmares. Even Golden Freddy, Fredbear, was a 5-fingered wearable suit at one point.
I don't
in the
like
story,
this. I
as
don't
we
like
see in
where this is
shot from the
going.
graphic novel, before he, like everyone else, was turned into an animatronic. This seems to imply that all of the main characters had similar wearable mascot outfits at least at one point in time, and that whoever is having the FNAF 4
Ooh.
nightmares, if they even are nightmares, something that we'll touch on in part 2, saw those mascot suits specifically. Lastly, we have to talk about the elephant in the room.
Elephant?
The literal elephant, Orville Elephant.
Wait,
as
this
well as
one's the
rest of
cutest one so
mediocre melodies. For a
far.
while now, I've suspected that the mediocre melodies played a much more important role in the story than just being a
Wait, the
bunch more
elephant's
animatronics to fill out the roster,
cute.
especially
We can
in
keep
Nightmare,
this
which is
one.
just so suspiciously close to Fredbear. And yet, there are 2 key details that we're gonna have to justify with any mediocre melodies mention. One, they're very rudimentary with external battery packs, implying
That's
that they come
good, I
very
can
early in
unplug
time.
them.
And 2, we know that at minimum, Mr. Hippo does eventually become an official member of the extended Freddyverse. But if these things are supposed to be cheap, generic rip-offs, why would you be trying to rip off yourself? You wouldn't. You would be stealing someone else's ideas. So if Afton created Fredbear, there would have to be some rival franchise. The only other person who would likely be ripping him off? Henry. We've talked extensively about how the mediocre melodies are clearly Henry's design aesthetic. So it just has to be him. I don't think Henry's doing this maliciously. He
I
doesn't
think
strike me as the
Freddy's
type. He was
looks
likely
cuter, I
building the
must
robots
say.
at orders of someone else that was
I'm
running
a
the rival
Henry
restaurant
fan.
franchise. But that's enough motivation to start
You go
Afton
there,
going back
Henry.
and jealous
Plagiarize
rivals,
the heck
but
out of
also
him.
begrudging admiration. As the Freddy Files Ultimate Edition says, it's important to revisit the beginning of Henry and William's relationship, so here you go. I think this is where it begins. Also, this is future Matt Pat here coming back to add this one in. Seems like the recently released character encyclopedia has backed up all of this speculation. I've had this timeline written for about a month now, but I've also been
Look at his eyebrow
this
game,
character encyclopedia
insane.
might throw into it. And on this particular point, I gotta say, it seems like we might actually have nailed it. They actively call out the suspicious similarities to the main Fredbear crew. Quote from one of the pages: Ned Bear looks like an imitation, altered just enough to avoid copyright issues. I don't know about you, but that's
even back in the day, they were doing the whole copyright avoidance.
Franchises had to have merged. That's really the
already.
Mr. Hippo from the rival franchise as part of the Fazbear crew. This also mirrors a lot of
It's time to put that encyclopedia on the throne. No! I can't have that be a physical copy on my bookshelf.
With other videos, just wanted to remind you all of that here. But why would I call out the rival restaurant as being named Chica's Party World? Few things, actually. First, we know for a fact that a location named Chica's Party World exists. It is mentioned in the source code teasing sister location, so it is out there somewhere and doesn't fit cleanly anywhere. Second, in the story The Puppet Carver, Chica is very explicitly looped in with the book versions of Pig Patch and Ned Bear, implying that she started as a mediocre melody. Thirdly, her design just fits better with a theme of down-home country animals with southern accents playing the banjo and eating with bibs. And with her being the headliner of the show with her name on the restaurant, it would make sense then that when the restaurants merged, she was the one that was added to the main cast of characters while all the other mediocres faded away. It's also why when Freddy's closes after William's killing spree, she's
killing spree? What is this? What is this?
A detail that's bothered me for years at this point. It might also explain why William decided to stuff his first dead kid into Chica. That one was Henry's creation, not his. Is all of this a big leap? Yeah. Is it connecting a lot of dots that are very spread out across the franchise that I've been holding
what
on
did
in
he
the back
just
of my
say
mind
to
for
me?
years? Absolutely. But I think it makes sense. It also serves as a clean answer to a lot of the random threads that Scott's been leaving dangling for years. So with all of that in mind, my friends, we can close the book on the foundation of Freddy's. And don't worry, next week I'll be back to give you arguably one of the most confusing parts of this entire timeline situation. Part 2, the Afton era. I promise it will actually be next week this time. No more waiting around. I am just as eager to get this one out the door as you are to watch it. I promise. You know what else I promise? I promise that we'll actually get to talking about the games. I would have liked to have talked about them in this episode, but there just isn't that much in the games that helps us depict anything pre-Family Diner. Although, let's be honest, this franchise has never been
I don't think she's understanding the timeline. No, I understand. I understand. This is weird. This is weird stuff. So the games are based on actual history, it seems like. So the start of this whole animatronic world with Mr. William and his rival. That's so freaky. That makes it even scarier. Who did this? Who did this? Alright, so we have two main parties, Mr. William and his co-inventor, whatever his name is. What's his name? What's the guy's name? The one that we stan. This guy. This guy. Henry, yes. Mr. William and Mr. Henry. And they have a partnership to franchise out the Freddy Fazbear world. They don't call it that yet, but the Freddy pizzeria kind of situation with Jiggy. And his goal was to spread his love for the original dancing bear to the children of the world. But he seems like a very angry man, you know? Mr. Williams seems like a very angry man. Like, I know he's just depicted as a little, almost like Minecraft looking purple guy, but he's unhappy about everything. Have you watched FNAF? I've only played the first game of FNAF. Purple guy, yeah, purple guy. He seems very angry, and some of the things that they mention in this video doesn't seem real, you know? It seems too crazy to be real. Like, what is he talking about? Killing spree? Stuffing children into the animatronic suits? Like, what is this? What is this? Like, yeah, I can buy the whole competing franchises. People doing knockoffs and things like that, and him being, oh, just so angry. He's like, oh, can't believe everyone's copying my dancing bear suits. She did not watch the movie. I did not watch the movie. Just call him Purple Guy. It will eventually make sense
Hey, there was so much. There was too much lore drop happening here. Like, he just went right into it, expecting us to already know some background. I feel like this video is for people who kind of knows a little bit about the FNAF universe already. He's like mentioning an encyclopedia book. And I'm like, what are you saying, sir? Back up. We watched him to know the truth. Pretty sure this is for people who already know FNAF. It makes sense. It makes sense. But it's okay. We'll pick things up as we go. Part 2. Isn't this not the first FNAF video? It was FNAF The Ultimate Timeline. Part 1. And now we're on to part 2. Hello, Ren and Freddy. Hello, JV. Oh, thank you for greeting Mr. Freddy over here. He gets sad when he's ignored for long periods of time. The videos are kind of 2 parts, the lore explanation and the logical speculation. You can skip the second part, I think. It's not too long, so I think we'll give it a go too. Let's see.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, and officially page
He's just
7
so
of the
internet.
FNAF timeline script. Last time we covered the origins of Freddy's. We talked about William
Game
Afton's
Theory, yeah, we're
childhood
watching
dream
Game
project of
Theory.
making a singing bear come to life, and the infuriating moment that his dream is copied by a rival
I'm purposely
restaurant
ignoring him
franchise looking to
because he
steal away
disturbs
his
me.
success. The
Oh,
merger
but
of
what
the
if he
two
starts getting
franchises
hungry?
results
You'll
in
be the
William
first
meeting
one
Henry,
he
a brilliant
eats.
designer with a knack for robotics. Working together,
I
they
like
make
this
Fred
recap.
Bear's
This is
flourish,
helping.
spawning popular Saturday morning cartoon shows, toy lines, and spin-off restaurants under the Fazbear name. When last we left him, Afton was thriving. The world of robotics opening his eyes to new and exciting ways of bringing characters to life. Bringing things to life. Yeah, that was his core driving force, his passion. And it was this very passion that would mutate,
His love
twist,
for
and
bears.
morph from here on out in the story. Because with life, there is inevitably death. Something that Afton would become intimately familiar with. But before
Nani?
Afton acquaints himself with death, I want you to take some time to acquaint yourself with our newest channel. Guys, this is a huge
Stop it,
moment
Mr.
for us
Matt.
theorists. For the
You're
last
retired
decade, we've
already.
had
You don't need to
players
advertise
full
your
icon,
second
and now
channel.
we finally fill in the final missing piece. Get ready for the rollout of our newest theorist
Stop
channel.
it.
Drum roll, please.
Okay.
Style Theory, where we're looking at the
Style
science,
theory?
math, psychology, history, and mystery of the way you look, your clothing, fashion
Boy, I'm
trends,
intrigued.
hygiene, and makeup. Now, I know that theorizing about style might sound weird at first, but hear me out. I grew up not understanding style or fashion at all.
Oh my god, it's his
Admittedly, I was a bit of a hot
fashionista
mess.
era.
Blissfully
Wait,
ignorant to the impact that
he looks
style
like he's
has
dressed
over
up
your
like the
life and how the world
Joker.
fits. But over time, by educating myself on the ins and outs of the fashion industry, I was better able to achieve
I
my
just
true
wear my
self and
VTuber
find my
merch.
own
That's
sense
too
of personal
based.
style. And that right there, that builds confidence. The way that you look directly
Some
affects
guy,
the way that you
thank you
feel
so much
and the
for
way
the
that
follow.
other
Come
people
in.
treat you. So understanding those rules and being able to take some control over all
I
of
didn't
that
know
is
Matt
incredibly
Pat became
valuable.
a
It's an
fashion
educational
guy.
curve. And what do we do on these channels?
If he
We
was
like to
still
educate
active
you
today,
while
he would be one of
entertaining
those
you, which
people
honestly
giving
is why I
live
think this
fashion
channel is so
commentary.
important for us
Like
to
he would
watch.
be
There are
looking
so
at
many
what
lies and
celebrities are
half-truths in the
wearing to the
fashion industry that there
Oscars
needs to be
and
someone
to
out there
Fashion
to
Week
say,
and going
"Hey,
like,
this is right, this is wrong, and this is science." Also,
you
we're
know,
gonna have
Kim
a lot of fun
Kardashian's
because talking
outfit
about
here.
fashion is weird. Like, this
Don't
channel
like
has
it.
already given me the excuse to bludgeon a ballistic head to death using a high heel.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's
Oh
also
my god.
the channel where we're gonna physically be testing the viability of female armor, or how many t-shirts it takes to stop a bullet. There's also practical everyday stuff too on this channel. Do school uniforms actually benefit the students? Does it make a difference whether or not
Okay.
you wash your legs in the shower? That's the sort of stuff that you can find on this new channel. In fact, there are 5 new episodes that you can check out.
Oh,
right
I feel like there was
after you
some
finish this
disconnect
beast
of how he
upload.
pitched
I
the channel
personally recommend starting
initially,
with the Kill and Feel
and what
episode because
content
this
is
episode's
actually
all about the
featured
birth
on
of
this
the killer.
channel.
And while you're over there, consider subscribing. It'll do all of us over here a huge favor, because if we manage to get 1 million subscribers
Okay.
by the end of the month, it'll put us as a top fashion channel here on
Science.
YouTube. Show the
Fashion
world that
science.
looking smart can be even better than looking cool. So go ahead, enjoy your all-day theory marathon. And now with our logo complete, it's time
Right.
to complete our other massive ongoing project, this timeline. Onward to part 2, where things are about to get dark in a hurry.
The Afton era.
1983, business was booming with 2 whole restaurant franchises running, Fredbear's Family Diner and the newly opened Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Together, William and Henry had been able to take the hybrid suit idea and make it into a reality. They called their new invention the Springlock suit, and fittingly enough, it was symbolic of the partnership between these two men. A human suit as designed by William that could become a freestanding Henry-style robot. But because it was still new tech with kinks to work out, the rollout was limited, restricted only to the Fredbear's Family Diner location. All of this meant that William was busier than ever. He didn't have time to be a full-time parent, so he designed a nanny cam system where cameras and speakers were hidden throughout the neighborhood, as well as in his youngest son's favorite
This is like the cameras in the first game when you're checking your security footage. He invented baby monitors? Is that what he's saying to me right now?
boy, psychic friend Fredbear. I mean, plushy Fredbear. But since cameras just weren't enough to raise a kid, he also left childcare duties to his eldest son, Michael. There was just one problem with that. Michael was far from the best babysitter. He tormented his younger brother by jump scaring him with a foxy mask and constantly left him behind. William watched all of it from his cameras. Kids would be kids. Tomorrow was another day. Except Michael's torment didn't stop. Bitter, angry thoughts would run through Michael's mind. Why did he have to be the one to take care of this whining crybaby all the time? It just wasn't fair. It was time that he got even with his brother by playing the ultimate prank. A prank that just so happened to be on this crying child's birthday. He and his friends would take his scared little brother and make him do the one thing that he was terrified of doing, getting close to the animatronics. That would be embarrassing for the kid that was such an embarrassment to him. His brother squirmed, screamed, kicked, and fought, but just as they were putting that small, squirming boy up to Fredbear's lips, the mouth snapped shut. The sensitive spring locks inside the body had been triggered by the boy's movements, and they'd immediately clamped down. The rhythm stopped. The boy was limp, but it was just a prank. It was meant to be funny. The boy was taken to the hospital and was immediately given an IV. Flowers and pills filled the nightstand.
Would it be
next to his
that
hospital
strong?
bed, but the damage was too severe. He couldn't recover. As the younger brother's consciousness began to fade, he could hear Michael's last words, a small and flimsy apology. But his father, Williams, through the voice of the Fredbear plush, were a firm and committed promise to a dying son. You're broken. I will put you back together. No matter what, William's son would live again. It would just take time. Time that, right now, he just didn't have. His young son's heart flatlined as the boy faded into the inky unknown of the afterlife. In the aftermath of the tragedy, changes started happening around the restaurants. Kids were now required to wear security wristbands to prevent anyone from getting outside without parental permission. Any kid who approached the exit without permission would have to answer to the security puppet.
We are... huh? Huh? That is so messed up. Am I traumatized yet? I've experienced a lot of trauma in my life. You know what? When was this? The 1900s? I could believe it. I could believe it. What the hell? That's so sad for the whole family. Like, for the brother as well. He's gonna have to live with this for the rest of his life. But also, it's the parents' fault. Like, why would you leave the older brother in charge of all of that? And where is wifey? Where is wifey? I thought it also mentioned in the last video that he had 3 children. Where's the other child? She was but a wee pup in the 1900s. Busy with work. Oh, they're both working. But also, I don't know how the accident led to them wearing wristbands around the children so that they can't leave. Like, what kind of security measure is this? I don't understand how this is supposed to solve the security measure of them getting too close to the animatronics.
Any kid who approached the exit without permission would have to answer to the security puppet, a marionette on strings that could fly around on rails across the restaurant to stop kids in their tracks. It was William's idea, inspired by Michael constantly leaving the restaurant without his brother. In the wake of Fredbear's springlock failure, all the hybrid suits were getting retired, locked away at the nearby Freddy Fazbear location. It was yet another tough pill to swallow after all the hard work that he and Henry had put into them.
These are semi-positive changes.
Small body in a remote location out in the woods right alongside
what I
his
miss
drive
trauma
into and out of work every day. The death of this little boy sent the family spiraling. His wife, crippled with grief, was so distraught that all she could do was sit and watch TV. But his son Michael was far worse. worse, complaining of seeing hallucinations of a golden bear standing outside of his window. The boy was so racked with guilt that he was convinced that he was being haunted by the ghost of his brother stuck inside the suit that took his life. The suit's three-toed feet digging into the wet earth. The words "it's me" ringing through Michael's ears. Some nights, Michael would even go so far as to break out of his room to check the gravesite and ensure that his brother was still there. As for William himself, he disappeared into his work and his drinks. Junior's, the local bar, wasn't far from his son's gravesite. He found himself going there more and more frequently.
Yeah, you know, this is the therapy of the 1900s that I would expect, you know? People are like, got traumatized? Have a beer.
Spending longer and longer amounts of time there. The bar gave him a place to think, to remember, to reflect and stew on how Henry had stolen his idea for an animal-themed restaurant. How they'd cut his character out of the cartoon when everyone else was there. How Henry had humiliated him by buying him out of bankruptcy. And now there was his son. Henry had taken his son from him. The robotic part was the part that failed after all. William ordered one more drink, but it was one too many. The bar turned him out.
You always have to find someone to blame. And I guess you can't blame your son.
William raced back to the restaurant to give Henry a piece of his mind, only to find someone else waiting. Henry's daughter, Charlie, locked outside of the building, bullies laughing at her through the window. Fine.
If he does something to Henry's child, I'm gonna lose it.
Some other problem to fix. But then
there's no way we go for like revenge child kidnapping or whatever, right?
To get back at the man who humiliated him all those years ago. Henry had killed his business, and now Henry's robotic suit had killed his son. It was time for William to do some killing of his own. Let Henry feel what it's like to have something you love get ripped away.
Henry doesn't even know. He's thinking of him.
In the back alley. It felt good. He felt free.
What did he just say?
Pizzeria, William attacked Charlie in the back alley. It felt good. He felt free. The years of resentment and bitterness trapped in his heart finally released in a moment of pure unapologetic evil. He would make Henry hurt like he hurts. And in that moment, William became a killer. He dropped Charlie's lifeless body and drove home, forced to confront his family problems later that night, appalled, but also a little excited by what he had just done. Charlie's death would remain on the books as a random act of violence. And though Henry had suspicions...
That is so sad. How can you see a child getting bullied, first of all, and then think, you know what? I'm gonna fix my life and get revenge. By killing her. What is this? What is this?
About William, there was no physical evidence, nothing that could link him back to the crime. In the weeks that followed,
we needed DNA testing in the 1900s.
High-profile deaths around the restaurant with two grieving owners in such a short period of time was just too much bad.
And are they still co-owning the franchise at this point? They're still working together. How can you let this animosity fester within inside you for your business partner while still actively working with them?
The rest of 1983 and 1984 were spent quietly grieving. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and the new cast of characters were a hit. Tragic
money.
Their yellow predecessors.
I understand.
Afton kept a low profile and buried himself in work and research, quickly reaching Henry's level of engineering and even surpassing him. And while Henry slowed down to grieve, Afton kept going, even starting his own company, Afton Robotics, for all those pet projects that were a little bit too experimental for the regular operations of the pizzeria. The first of these experimental projects was a secret workshop under his house, a veritable bunker, which allowed him to work while still monitoring his kids via hidden security cameras. 1-9-8-3, a passcode that served as
I don't even know why he's still watching the cameras.
In the first place. This was all to fulfill the promise that he had made to his son.
If he's not gonna parent anything.
This was for him, all for him. Right? But cameras weren't enough. He needed to solve the runaway Michael problem. He had to keep him in the house. He couldn't have another one of his kids wind up dead inside of an animatronic suit. So why not run a little experiment on Michael? You see, all this work with Henry had gotten Afton to start learning more about life, robots, the human mind, and what a fallible machine we as humans were. Our reality is so easy to manipulate with a few sensory deceptions. Deceptions like sound. With just a few sounds, he had discovered that he could alter a person's vision. He could transform blank, smooth plastic robots into lumbering, twisted nightmares. Nightmares far scarier than he could create with actual material.
What's wrong with this guy?
They would appear organic, rotting, putrid. terrifying. These would be his means of keeping
Going
his son
full
Michael in the house where he
Frankenstein,
belonged. Was it
yeah.
extreme? Maybe. But then again, this was the boy who had killed his son. He would make him sorry. And so Michael would grow up not only dealing with the memories of his own guilt, the hospital room, the pills, the flowers, the death of his brother, but also facing literal nightmares.
He's
illusions
blaming
created by
his
sound. Michael would
child.
never forget these either. Years later, as a security
He's
guard, he would still
so
draw pictures of them
horrible.
inside of his logbook. But all of these extra projects meant that his home life suffered even more. He was an absent father and a non-existent husband, leaving his wife cold and alone.
Why do you hide inside your walls when there is music in my halls?
He's terrorizing his
All I
child.
see is an empty room, no more joy, an empty tomb.
And despite her repeated demands that he leave
Well,
his
it's not
office and
entirely
engage with
not
the
his
family,
fault, but
he
it was-
refused time and time
it was
again,
kind of
leaving
an
her no choice but to
accident.
leave.
You burned down my house.
And if the parents were there taking care of the children, then I don't think it would have ended up like that.
Baby isn't mine.
Well, how's this? I'm keeping the diamond ring.
And through it all, there was one lingering feeling. William wasn't done. He had gotten a taste of what it felt like to be unleashed, what it felt like to be free. Charlie's murder had unlocked something in him, and
What
he
the
wanted
hell?
more. June 26th, 1985. Putting on the golden Bonnie suit, he lured children one by one to the back room of the pizzeria when no one
Ain't
was
no
home.
way.
At first, he was cautious. He would lure them.
Ain't
with
no
promises of
way!
cookies. He told them that their dog had died. He would ask for help with homework.
Is this
Susie
the
was
origin of
first.
don't take candies from strangers?
But where to hide the bodies? He couldn't sneak
Oh
out.
my
Someone would see
God.
him. He had to hide them in a place where they'd never be found and where they'd never leave the
I was
building.
born in
They had to be
1985. No, no,
stuffed
no.
inside the suits. No one maintained those things anyway except for him. And so Susie would go into Chica. Fritz, Jeremy, and Gabriel would come next. But it was easy. It was too easy. And with each little life he snuffed out, his lies got bigger. Their house was burning. They're just being kidnapped. Until the last one where all pretense was off. He let himself get violent. Too violent.
I'll just wait for him after school. Throw a bag over his head.
I
Hit
said
him with
thank
a
you for the
shovel and
follow.
drag him into the back of my car.
The body of Cassidy was far more bloody and broken than any of the others. He'd let himself go too far. That one he shouldn't have killed. With no more active animatronics left, he shoved the body into the one suit that remained backstage. The long-forgotten yellow Fredbear. Now
I don't like
broken and
this.
discolored with age. Broken, like Cassidy was broken. Like his son was broken. Newspapers reported on this disappearance, naming the whole thing the missing children's incident.
How can
Police
they
would
not
even charge
find
William with
him?
the crimes after finding security footage of the golden mascot suit luring
Okay,
kids to
okay,
the
okay,
back,
okay,
but they
okay.
couldn't convict him. They had
Why?
no bodies, and his face had been hidden behind the mascot suit the entire time.
Are you
What they
kidding
had
me?
was circumstantial at best, and so he walked away a free man. Henry knew the truth. In these murders, he saw his daughter Charlie all over again. So he threw Afton out of the company and shuttered the doors to the old pizzeria. Henry would keep the franchise quiet for 2 years. This would not happen again. This could not happen again. How could he protect the kids? Finally, he developed a solution.
You know, I think it's time to put out, like, if it were me, time to put out a public smear campaign, you know? Shouldn't everyone be on neighborhood watch? Shunning Mr. William? You know what's worse than prison? The whole public turning
Implemented
against
even more
you.
extreme security system in the form of new animatronics, toy animatronics, inspired by the toys that they had
He
been
had
selling
no proof,
years
only suspicion. Like, if it was modern day, I would be on my WhatsApp groups with the neighborhood and saying, you know, this William guy, sus as hell. Sus as hell.
ago. But these guys, these were special. They were a new breed of robot with facial recognition abilities.
But
Oh.
most importantly, they're all tied into some kind of criminal database, so they can detect a predator a mile away.
All the original
What?
animatronics, now withered with age, were moved to the new location. With a plan in place, it was time to try once more. The year was 1987, and the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was making headlines in local newspapers. Headlines that just so happened to catch the attention of William Afton. Freddy's was back, and without him, that was his idea, his character. Henry was, yet again, trying to cut him out of the picture. No, as long as these restaurants stayed open,
I can't
William
believe
would
Megan Fox
always
is gonna
come
voice
back.
Toy
Then he
Chica
noticed phone
there's
number
no
to apply at the
way.
bottom of the article. $100
I love
to
Megan
apply.
Fox. Actually, I don't know
Not
much
as an
about her
owner
anymore,
or
but I liked her in
co-founder,
Transformers.
He would go back in the one place that they would least suspect him, a lowly day shift security guard. And there it was, buried in the back of parts and services, mixed in with the old withered animatronics, was the golden rabbit. With the yellow
just watched
security badge
Jennifer's
still on
body,
his chest,
iconic.
He used his crank to pull open the spring locks. It was time for Bonnie to give an encore performance.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right. From what I understand, the building is on lockdown. No one is allowed in or out, you know, especially concerning any previous employees. When we get it all sorted out, we may move you to the day shift. A position just became available.
1987, 5 more kids. He didn't know what felt better, getting back into the suit after 2 long years
Oh
of
my
waiting, or knowing
God.
how devastating this would be to Henry the next morning. He didn't even try to hide his crime this time, just meant more blood on Henry's hands. He'd failed to protect the kids again. The restaurant had only been open for a few weeks, but William was sure that this would get it to close. Good, if he couldn't have Freddy's, no one would. Whenever a new pizzeria opened, he would be there. But as he sat in his bunker, something else started to linger in William's mind. He had seen something strange. The old withered animatronics, they had been wandering around the building, spurred on by the puppet. It was almost like those old robots were trying to save the kids. Save them? They couldn't, obviously, but still, how were they moving? It was almost like they had been given life somehow. Did he have something to do with that? The following day, the news would report a security guard getting bitten by one of the animatronics during the day shift. Was
That's
that
me.
bite meant
That was
for-
me.
For him? William's curiosity was stronger now than his bloodlust. He had to learn more, but how? There was no way he'd ever be able to get inside another Freddy's pizzeria. Heck, there was practically no way a Freddy's would ever open again. He needed to create something new, something brand new. He needed to create his own pizzeria.
Due to the massive success, and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another contender in children's entertainment.
Circus Baby's Pizza World.
Why does it
This
get
would be the place
worse?
where he could continue his work. No longer just murdering, experimenting. He needed more kids, and he needed them alive. And knowing that he couldn't show his face on the
my
restaurant floor,
God.
he needed a way of remotely capturing his victims and preserving them for his work. With that goal in mind, he designed a new breed of animatronic. Their endoskeletons fluid and flexible. He equipped them with sound lures that could mimic voices. They could isolate children. They could incapacitate and contain them with zero direct input from him. It was brilliant. He was brilliant. Far beyond the simple bars and wires of Henry's designs. And the characters he chose for this were uniquely his. His new roster wasn't going to be tainted by Henry's disgusting barnyard bird. Instead, it was back to his characters, his creations. Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, as well as
Oh my
two special
God.
ones. The first, Ballora, was an homage to the woman who left him. Now she would never leave him again. The second, the titular baby, was designed with his baby in mind, Elizabeth, his youngest child. She would always be Daddy's little girl, the one that listened to him, the one that obeyed, until the day that she didn't.
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? She's so pretty and shiny. Didn't you make her just for me?
The day before a Circus Baby's Pizza World opened,
This ain't right. This ain't right. I can't believe it's getting worse. How can it be getting worse? How can no one have caught him yet? That's what I'm saying. There's already suspicions, right? I guess it is all circumstantial evidence, but if you see like a walking yellow suit following and all these cam footages of the missing children, wouldn't you investigate the suits? Like, I don't understand how they haven't found the suits with the bodies in them yet. Is he keeping all of those in his bunker? Like, where is he keeping those? How can no one be looking for
she
those?
disobeyed. She didn't listen. Left alone with Baby, she got too close. The animatronic ripped in half and swallowed her whole.
What are we
Scared and
talking about?
confused
What are we
child
talking
faded
about?
into Eternal darkness. By the time Afton found her, it was too late. She was gone. He immediately canceled the launch of Circus Babies under the guise of a gas leak. But wait, as he sat there at the foot of the stage, he noticed that something was different. The eye color of the robot had changed. Baby had been built with blue eyes, but now they were emerald green. The same.
Like, huh? He builds contraptions to purposefully capture children, and then he's surprised when his child gets eaten? Like, I don't understand.
Color as Elizabeth's. Was she in there? Could this all be connected to the free-moving animatronics that he had seen at Freddy's? He had to know no more. His mourning turned to excitement. He had to return to where it all started.
I'm so happy that wifey left.
This place was pathetic. Henry had clearly tried to reopen one final time with those old original animatronics from so long ago, but William's damage to the brand had been permanent. These things stank of death. They hadn't been washed in decades. But even if they had, nothing could wash away the stink of murder that haunted these halls. One night, then another, then another. William repeatedly snuck into the old broken restaurant to lure the living animatronics to him, one by one dismantling them, robbing them of their endoskeletons. The metal had to be the secret. It had to contain the remnants of life itself. But he had to know for sure. Leaping out of a room that was invisible to the animatronics programming, he dragged the oversized robotic skeletons back to his underground workshop, back to where Circus Baby watched on with glowing, curious eyes.
The circus babies have to go.
Not knowing what else to do, William melted the robotic parts down. 5 animatronic endoskeletons reduced down to one silvery puddle of goo. Could he transfer this living metal to his own creations? He had to try. He picked up a syringe and filled
What
it
kind of
with molten metal and
pseudoscience is
injected the
this?
goo into Funtime Freddy's twisted, wiry endoskeleton. And suddenly the coils came to life, like snakes writhing.
There's
in a
no
pile
way!
of
There's
cold,
no
lifeless metal,
way!
moved and jolted on its own. He'd done it. He
I think he's
unlocked
hallucinating.
The secret to life itself. Except something was clearly wrong. The movements were
Stuff you
they
do
were
when
violent,
drugs
angry.
are
Baby
involved.
didn't act this way. She had been
Circus
calm,
Baby
collected.
lured her with
This was
ice cream
clearly
and
something
her
else,
daughter
something
got
mindless,
snatched and stuck
frantic. Perhaps
inside.
by mixing the souls and then portioning them out, he had created incomplete beasts. He would need to keep testing to truly understand it. He needed more of this remnant. As he searched the old pizzeria one more time for any remaining scraps of metal, the ghosts attacked. His past victims come to collect their due, all led by Cassidy. The 5 lined up and blocked the door, and Afton's mind reeled. The scientific implications of this were incredible. Ghosts, real ghosts that he could see, all standing against him. But what could they do? What couldn't they do? He panicked as Cassidy approached. How do you stop something that's already dead?
Cassidy,
Maybe with
get
the thing
him.
that resulted in their death in the first place. He would get into his suit like old times. He would regain his power over them just like the day that they died. He was the genius. He was the one in the suit. He was the one in charge. The spring lock snapped into place. Maybe it was his frantic movements. Maybe it was the leaky abandoned restaurant. Maybe it was just fate coming to collect its due. He didn't know. The only thing he did know was that his brain was suddenly filled with searing white-hot pain as hundreds of metallic pins and gears stabbed into his body from all sides.
Karmic
All he could do was
retribution.
collapse, blood slowly oozing out of the suit and pooling onto the floor around him.
This is like the puppet in Naruto.
It couldn't end like this. His work was unfinished. Unable to move, his only option was to survive, to live, to keep living. It took days lying in his own blood, but eventually someone found him. A security guard making a normal report. When he saw the animatronics torn apart in the middle of the party room floor, it caused him to file an immediate report of a break-in. An owner would have to come in and claim the damage. And who else would it be other than Henry? Hope jumped in Afton's heart. Henry would see him. They were partners after all. He would be the one to help save him, to get him out of this suit, to relieve him from this tremendous pain. Henry entered the secret room. His eyes fell on Afton sitting there in the pool of red, and Henry, saying nothing,
Time for a
turned
villain
and
laugh.
walked away.
This is just to inform all employees that due to budget restrictions, the previously mentioned safe rooms are being sealed at most locations, including the being taken out beforehand, so if you left anything inside, then it's your own fault. Management also requests that this room not
This is the voice that's in the game. The guy who gives us our orientation briefing the first night.
Trapped behind the walls with an iron will that refused to die.
It was
End
Mr.
of this
Henry.
part. I say this part because it's not officially the end of the Afton era just yet, but this just felt like a really solid stopping point, and the episode has gone on forever. Okay, so most of this is things that we already knew, stuff that's been established and re-established time and time again by the games. That
The
said,
phone
there
guy
are
is voiced
two
by the
things
creator
that I absolutely have to address.
Scum.
The first and biggest is the placement of
Ooh.
sister location, or more specifically, Elizabeth's death. To me, evidence in game seems to suggest that it was meant to come before the crying child's death in 1983. The biggest clue to this is that the crying child saw something. Remember what you saw is the phrase that's repeated over and over again by psychic friend Fredbear, aka William Afton speaking through a walkie-talkie in the Fredbear plushie's stomach. But what did he see? Well, I think we can tell based on how the nightmare animatronics are visualized. They have mouths in their stomachs. stomachs. just like
Excuse?
babies ripping in half at the waist to swallow a kid. There's also the empty girl's room, one presumably left behind by a dead sister. And lastly, it explains why he's scared, and more specifically why Afton wants him scared. He needs his kids to stay away from the animatronics. He doesn't want them getting too close, because the last time one of his kids got too close to a robot, his daughter died. That's then why he sets up the nightmares, to scare both Mike and the crying child away from the animatronics from that point forward. That's why
This is so convoluted.
Encyclopedia outright suggests that we play as the crying child in FNAF 4. That's why he has a nanny cam following the crying child everywhere, so he can keep tabs on his kids when they're out of his sight. He can't let another Elizabeth situation happen. The death of Elizabeth also gives William Afton extra motivation for killing. He's a grieving father. His daughter was taken away from him, so Charlie should die as well. He's lashing out at the world after losing his kids. And again, we know that at least one of his children had to have died prior to Charlie's death, based on the mound of dirt that we see in Midnight Motorist. It also allows circus babies to open and close earlier in the timeline, which is how you wind up with Funtime Foxy appearing as Mangle in the FNAF 2 location.
I was just about to say Funtime Foxy kind of.
Except for the most important thing, the murder weapon. Why would Afton be building an animatronic with a giant claw in its stomach so early in the timeline? At this point, he just has no motive. It just doesn't make sense prior to
Don't judge me.
At this point in the story, he hasn't killed anyone. And we know for a fact that the missing children's incident is 1985. So Elizabeth's death coming before any of those events just doesn't work. Hence why I placed it where I did.
Say down.
Afton's death here
Do
is also
not
tricky.
the
We know that
butt.
he returned to the FNAF
Oh, Foxy. Foxy wants me so bad.
He melts down 5 things to become one thing. Candy Cadet makes that very clear. So the 5 things are the 5 endoskeletons from the various animatronics. That would be totally fine if it weren't for one huge problem. On his 5th visit to the pizzeria, Afton gets spring locked. So either the 5 becoming 1 starts in 1993, but then finishes 30 years later when he reemerges from the wall to add the last endoskeleton to his pile, or he's had himself some reason to return to the original location after harvesting all the stuff that he can. It's not ideal, but it's the one angle that makes the most sense.
Couldn't play FNAF 4, it's too scary
this
for
next chapter
me.
comes to a close.
Which one's the scariest? Is it FNAF 4?
To cover and another 40 plus years of Fazbear history to recap.
Wow.
Put it that way, something tells me that this might balloon into 4 parts. Ugh, we'll see. Anyway, until then, my Faz heads, congratulations, you've made it through a massive upload. And hey, if you are still looking for more to watch, then check out the other 5 brand new awesome theories over on our new sister location, Style Theory. This thing literally—
Stop it! That was a lot. That was a lot. How is he gathering this lore exactly? Is it just from all of the games? Is it mainly from the books? What comes first, the books or the games? Because in FNAF 1, I didn't feel like there was a lot of lore available. Like, there's a lot of mysteries, like how this establishment came to be, how the animatronics gained sentient. It took a long time, over a period of time. He is loring both. Lots of lore and research. FNAF 4, you actually have to listen to close the door properly. Both book and game. The lore is thicker than average YouTube. I feel like all of this sounds so realistic too, especially the first part of this video seems so realistic, you know? The dancing bear, I just want the dancing bear to be happy. How can a cute little dancing bear spin off into such horrific lore? They're traumatizing children and adults. They're traumatizing all generations, truly. Most of it are in the books. That's right, 19 books. That's crazy. Should I read the books? Are the books well written? All right, we're on to FNAF The Ultimate Timeline, Part 3. Reading stream. You don't read? I learned the alphabet song, and it was before, you know, you guys Zoomers got the new alphabet. Did you know there was a new alphabet song because people couldn't say LMNOP? I'm the advanced species. I can still sing the alphabet saying LMNOP. Can you do that?
Intern Book Club.
Internet. Welcome to Game Theory.
Welcome
and
to
here's
Game
20
Theory
of our final FNAF timeline. This is getting ridiculous. Last time we covered
Pretty
William
much,
Afton's rise as
exactly.
a serial killer. How the loss of his young son in 1983
There are graphic
caused him to
novel
make one fateful
adaptations. That
promise
seems
would ultimately
scarier. I don't
serve
want
as
the
his
graphic
driving force
novels.
For decades. I will put you back together. Fueled by grief and obsession, Afton would lose himself in work and drinks. One night in a fit of rage, he lashes out against Henry's young daughter Charlie, his first murder. This moment becomes the first domino to fall in a long sequence of events that ultimately destroys William's life and the lives of those around him. That one murder gives
In
Afton
my
a
day, if
taste
you
for
couldn't
blood,
rap Elemental
resulting in
P,
the
you would
deaths
get
of 10 more
bullied.
children across 2 different pizzerias.
Bullied
Those
for
children go on to
education,
possess
I guess.
animatronics, giving Afton
Guess
his
that's
first
the better
exposure to Remnant and the potential solution for bringing his
spectrum.
son back to life. The need to learn more about this miraculous power leads him to produce the Funtime animatronics, as well as their capture devices. Robots designed to bring kids to him for experimentation and collection of more Remnant. Except there was one thing that he didn't account for: his daughter's curiosity. He made the
Look how
robots
cute
too
she
appealing, and it
was.
would cost him Elizabeth's life. Now with
He
two
made
children
the
put back
robots
together,
too
Afton was more
appealing.
desperate and crazed than ever, returning to defunct pizzerias to steal the possessed metal still living inside their walls. What he didn't account for, though, were the ghosts, forcing him to pay for the sins of his past. When last we left him, William was spring-locked, bleeding to death behind a secret wall. Gone, but certainly not forgotten, as we're about to see in today's video. Today, we're finishing up Chapter 2 of our story, wrapping up the Afton era. Over the next 6 pages, we switch our focus to the other main character of the franchise, Mike, a young boy dealing with the fallout of a stupid childhood decision with tragic consequences.
Oh
A young
God!
man whose life is best described
The
as
eldest
collateral
son.
damage, caught in the blast radius of William's whirlwind of destruction. Now, before we begin, let me just rip off the band-aid now. We won't be finishing the timeline today. I know. I'm sorry, I wanted to, but covering
Matt,
FNAF
how
VR,
could you?
AR, and Security Breach wound up taking me an additional 9 pages of script.
I'm
And I've
disappointed
already
in
made
you,
you wait
Matt.
long enough for this part, so I just had to make the executive call to break this one up into 2. Don't worry, that part is already written, it is already recorded, it is just in the process of being edited. It is a hefty episode. So mark it on your calendar. That
Editor
one's actually
stuck in the
gonna be going
mines.
live on March 25th. It's also coming complete with a live talk back where we go back over everything from the past couple episodes, as well as having ourselves some very special guests. So overall, that one should be a lot of fun. Fair warning though, the conclusions we've reached that solve Security Breach, whew, they are controversial. I feel good about them. Like, I think that we've locked in on a lot of the answers here, but whoa, they're gonna raise a lot of discussion. Let's just say that you're either gonna love that episode or hate it. I don't really think there's gonna be much in between on that one. Anyway, without any further ado, let's cover a chunk of the timeline that's a lot less controversial. Let's meet Mike.
Hi, Mike.
William still wasn't back. Weird. Michael knew his father sometimes traveled for work, disappearing for
I
days
just
on
fell
end,
in love
but
with the cute
usually there was some
expression to
sort of
your voice
notice, a
forever,
photo,
forever, forever,
post-it,
forever.
something. It's not like Michael and his father were close.
Seems like
Far
Game
from it.
Theory
But as
had a
household
basement
of
for
two
before
suffering women
VTubers.
coping with years of tragedy
How
and
dare
loss,
he
there was at least
appropriate my
some element
culture?
of communication between the two of them.
The
They were
basement's
united by a name
mine.
and a shared pain. This time though, things felt different. William had left nothing. His absence was longer. There were no check-ins, no updates, just silence. Something had happened. If there was one thing Michael knew about his father, it was that he had contingencies, safety checks, backup plans. His father was a careful and guarded man. He held his cards
No,
close to his
Mike.
chest, and as
No,
such,
your
William
father was a
prepared him in the
freak.
event that something like this ever happened. Normally, his father kept his home office locked, but in the event of an unexpected, prolonged absence,
No,
Michael
Mike,
had been instructed
no!
to enter his father's office and look behind an empty set of shelves mounted in the corner of the room. Rolling his eyes, Michael entered his office. He never fully understood how William was able to spend so many hours of his days locked up in here. There was just nothing to do. Most of this place was empty. He dragged himself over to the shelf in the corner, expecting to find an emergency contact list, a family safety deposit box. But what he actually found there was completely unexpected.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be.
Why is
The
Mike's
shelf
voice
swung
like
open
this?
and revealed a giant
Mike sounds older than his
industrial
father
elevator,
did.
one that led straight down into an underground bunker. But that was impossible. Hidden inside his childhood home
Are
was
the
a secret
bodies here?
entrance to an enormous underground science lair. It didn't make any sense. Seriously, it didn't make any sense. And yet here it was, mapped directly underneath the floor plan of the house that he'd grown up in, lost his brother in, been tortured in. Michael thought that he'd known his father. father, a prideful, sad, angry man with petty, everyday problems, but clearly he'd been living with a stranger this entire time.
No, that's all still true.
Suddenly, the days of William being locked inside of his office made sense. He'd been here the entire time. Where was here, though? Was this Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals? The Circus Baby restaurant always did seem to be a deeply personal project for father, a failure of his that cut unusually deep.
How old is Mike at this point?
Closed prematurely due to the gas leaks. After that day, father really did seem to change, to lose himself even more in his work. Clearly, the entrance he had found was some sort of secret back way into the facility, one that required
just casually has a supervillain lair, right?
Working here, but in secret.
What were the original floor plans of this home?
Facility, Circus Baby. His father's
around 20s, I assume, but we don't know.
She wasn't like the others. The way she talked, the stories she told.
Oh my god, if Mike falls in love with Circus Baby,
somehow, and not
incense.
She also felt familiar.
Stop it! Stop it, Michael!
Inside of me, I'm broken. I can't be fixed. Will you help me?
Was this his sister?
Sweet Home Alabama.
Girl? But how? Why? What was this place? He dug around some old files and found blueprints outlining the features of these animatronics. Storage containers, voice mimicking, parental
Boss, this
tracking.
isn't that kind of story, okay.
Freddy's stomach? Was his father collecting and experimenting on kids? Were all the rumors that he'd heard throughout his past actually true?
Yeah.
That the animatronics came to life at night? That there were murders done in all the pizzerias? That his father had somehow been
rumors? Did he not see the news reports? Were there no news reports about all these missing children in the area? Is he homeschooled?
His anger, fear, and confusion filled his body. His father's secrets were pouring out. William wasn't just a lame, overworked father. He was a monster, toying with life itself. Suddenly, everything clicked. He frantically looked around the room, blinking human heads on poles staring back at him. Green eyes, his sister. Blue eyes, his brother. Closed eyes, his mom. All just staring expectantly. These were meant to be human. William was working down here trying to make believable humans, literally rebuilding the family that they had both lost. The small little girl robots with their British accents roaming the whole
British accent? Why do they have a British accent? Oh, I hate it so much. Why British?
A replacement for her? A clone? Was William building clones of his sister? They
British clones?
After all,
like the British thing is definitely a choice.
Recognize me.
He decided to program his daughter as British.
He always did have a bit of a resemblance to his father. Michael's mind reeled as the reality of his world crumbled to dust. No, he had to get them out of there.
Rin, did you try to get Sentinel? We'll be trying tomorrow.
If any of these things were human souls, whatever remnant of the humans that
William's British himself? Why is Mike not British?
Back inside. There's nowhere for us to hide here.
Led by the voice of Circus Baby, he marched through the now empty halls of the Funtime Auditorium. He would lead them. He would protect them.
He would lead and
finally,
protect
he would be able
them.
to forgive himself for the killing of his brother
Oh my god, Michael!
You are in the scooping room now.
Scooping room?
The scooper only hurts for a moment.
Scooper? That violent extraction arm? Michael had seen that one in the pile of blueprints. Something about heat rendering the magical silver metal inside useless. In reality, prior to getting himself spring-locked and put behind the wall, William's methods had become increasingly sophisticated, with a mechanized arm that could infuse new bodies with a soul. William could finally give and take away life. The only thing he needed were the bodies. But William wasn't the only one looking for bodies, as Michael was about to learn.
But if we looked like you, then we could hide. If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go.
Michael was going to be the hero.
Michael, start doing the robot dance.
He was going to help the haunted tubes and wires of these animatronics escape, just not in the way that he anticipated. His sister had lied to him. Another game of pretend. The scooper plowed forward, digging its extraction arm into his body. As he heard his bones ripping through his flesh, Michael blacked out.
With me. I should be dead, but I'm not.
For the next several months, Michael's life was not his own. He was forced to comply with a tangle of wires and spirits that lived inside of him. His body felt like an overfilled balloon begging to burst as day by day, week by week, his flesh began to sag and discolor. He was a walking, talking, rotting corpse, alive, but wishing he wasn't. He was a puppet, a walking shell. And while he did his best to conceal his fate, there was only so much a man filled with robot spaghetti could do. The entity in his innards would eventually leave, but by that point, the damage had been done. His decaying flesh stank, turning him into a literal purple guy. But still, even with no bones, even with rotting purple flesh and begging to die, Michael continued to live. That silvery metal remnant injected by the scooper meant that he couldn't die. His anger also refused to die. What he had seen down there in his sister's location had rocked him to his core. His father had killed and captured dozens. His experiments had killed his sister and then tortured him throughout all his childhood. He was actively trying to build human replicants. He didn't know where his father was, but Michael knew that he was out there somewhere.
I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to
Is the
do.
final showdown going to be Mike
find
versus William?
Michael had to correct for the sins of his father. He had to make things right. Michael would burn
Fight,
Fazbear
fight,
Entertainment to the ground.
Okay,
what else
or
could you do when your skin is
Pyromaniac.
permanently purple? Michael's strategy was simple. He would apply for night security guard positions at the old defunct pizzeria locations. That way, no one ever had to see him or smell him.
Purple Civil War. Only one purple guy can survive.
Teenage vandals and squatters were always looking to get inside these abandoned buildings, and yet no one ever really wanted to work an overnight graveyard shift unless they were practically out of
Final
options.
showdown.
In
If this
turn,
isn't the final
one by
showdown,
one,
then
he
I
would
want
take on the
Wifey
job
to
of
come
security
back.
guard, changing his
Wifey
name
should
each
come
time to
back,
ensure that no one
smack
was
both
able to
of them in
follow
the
his paper
head.
trail. Once inside, he could tamper with the animatronics,
Twist off their
figure out how
heads,
they worked, writing about his
and
experiences
usher
in the
them to the
security
police
log.
station.
Well, there he would listen to the old tapes where upper management awkwardly welcomed new recruits to their summer jobs, even though he was working.
Ain't happening. No, I believe in Wifey. Bring Wifey.
Confused and afraid about what was happening in the walls around them. Sometimes he would see his brother in the form of the golden Freddy suit. It's me appearing on the walls around him. Except
It's
now
me.
there was something else there. He was no longer alone. Another angrier presence was also in the suit, as if two spirits were forced to share the same body. And Golden Freddy would attack him now. It was aggressive.
Oh my gosh.
Its vengeance wanted to lash out at anyone with the Afton name, anyone who wore a security guard outfit. Over time, Mike worked his way through the old restaurants, the original pizzeria, the bigger, better Freddy Fazbear's. He spent weeks there looking for clues as to his father's whereabouts, and each time at the end of his week's shift, he would then set the location on fire. Remnant can't survive high temperatures after all. So burning away whatever spirit-laden animatronics that still existed inside seemed like a winning strategy.
I feel like,
Visiting his past, though, was
can the
causing nightmares
animatronics
to
not
begin.
survive a little bit of fire?
Back to his childhood. The
I feel
guilt
like
around killing his brother. His dreams were.
I don't know if it would be high
mixed with the
temp enough to
shrunk
melt all
bones
the
of
metal.
security guards, but it would all be worth it in the end. The goal was to eventually stumble across the one location, the one job that would finally reunite him with his father. Little did Mike know that
Look
day
how happy
would come
they
sooner than
are.
he expected. 2023, an advertisement came across Mike's TV. Fazbear Frights, a new horror attraction inspired by the awful crimes that occurred around Freddy Fazbear's Pizza so many years ago.
Only
It made
2
Mike sick.
animatronics have
People
been
looking
shown
make
to
a
be
quick
able
buck
to
off the tragedy of
survive.
others, off his own family. This wasn't a joke or entertainment. Regardless, he had to be a part of it. If this team was combing through his family's history, they might stumble across something
It's
that could
not
be useful.
solid
And if his
metal,
father
it's
was
liquid
truly still
metal
alive as he
after injected
suspected, there
into
would
the
be no way
suits.
that
That's
wouldn't show up
true.
here. Maybe finally this could be the final chapter in his family's marathon of tragedy. Mike applied for the job and was immediately handed the keys. Years of doing this had taught him that security guards rarely receive thorough security checks. They also liked how creepy Mike looked. They thought it was a costume, on theme for the job. What little they knew.
Who dresses up to apply for a security job? What is he talking about?
For weeks, there was nothing. But just as Mike considered giving up, he received the call that he'd been waiting for years.
You're not gonna believe this. We found one. A real one.
Could this finally be him? Sure enough, there he was. William inside his iconic golden Bonnie springlock suit, only now it was green and decaying with age. And there they were, a small family of broken men finally reunited. It's been a long time.
Wow.
Mike had always struggled with the phantoms of his past haunting him.
How
but
cozy.
now, all the animatronics he'd encountered over the past months, hopping from pizzeria to pizzeria, suddenly sprang to life. Their burned faces haunting him as he tried to keep track of his father on the cameras. It would seem that William's mere presence had put the spirits on high alert. Ultimately, they were harmless, more annoying than anything else. But there was one that felt different from the others. One that was more than just a mere phantom. The security puppet. If he looked at the cameras at just the right moment, he could see it floating there through the halls. He could even see its reflection in the water pooled on the ground.
I don't think we
It seemed
saw
like
this in
he
the
wasn't
first
only one
game,
there on a
right?
mission. While he was dealing with Springtrap, Michael assumed that this one was likely dealing with the spirits of this place, finally setting them to rest. Hopefully this means a happier day for all of us, Mike thought to himself. And in that
At this
moment,
point, they
he felt
just
the air
don't care.
around
Yeah,
him
their
release.
hiring
The pressure
protocols
being let out
are.
of the body. The building
They're like,
sobbed
please, please,
as if
please,
5
please just
spirits
work
had
here.
finally been allowed to move on. He had the sense that his brother was a part of them. He rigged the wiring inside the building
Puppet
to
is
misfire, and the dry,
only in
desiccated walls
second
erupted in
game.
flames. It is finished. Except it was not. Somehow, through sheer force of will, Afton remained. He had survived, and Mike would need to find a new way of finishing off his father. Luckily, the solution would present itself later that year. Not from Mike, but from another victim that had been left in his father's wake.
We're talking about becoming a Fazbear Entertainment franchisee. Restaurant ownership and management. Something almost anyone can do with a limited degree of success. You are now the face of the newly rebranded Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Fazbear Entertainment as a brand had been closed for years. William had been stuck in a suit and a wall. The only person who legally could bring the franchise back was Henry. But he
Henry the goat!
Around the time of his father's disappearance. Something was up. Surely this had to be some kind of a trick, right? Mike, doing what he did best, applied for a franchise and immediately got the job. There was just one thing out of the ordinary. Paragraph 4.
If you are playing this tape, that means that not only have you been checking outside at the end of every shift, as you were instructed to do, but also that you have found something that meets the criteria of your special obligations under paragraph 4.
No employment contract he'd ever signed required him to keep special lookout for independently moving animatronics outside the restaurant. Now he knew something was up here. Henry was luring them all back. Rather than trying to go to them, like Mike had done for years, Henry was doing the opposite. He was putting them all under the same
Henry's
roof.
a
He was
smarty.
finishing them off for good. Mike knew this wasn't meant to be a restaurant. It was meant to be a prison, a containment vessel, a locked box meant to trap them all in so they could finally end the madness. It took a few nights.
Let's go,
but eventually
Henry.
Everyone was there. His father, the puppet, the robot spaghetti,
Family
that had once violated
reunion.
his body, and his sister, now hopelessly devoted to serve the man that had once gotten her killed. It was time. He had been instructed to seal the doors and leave, but while he locked everything down, he didn't move on. If this was truly meant to be the end, if the remnant needed to be washed away, he needed to be a part of that.
This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still and give up your spirit.
This is horrifying.
For most of you, I believe there is peace.
What kind of purification ritual is this?
The darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you.
No, don't bring them to hell, please. I don't want them here.
And with that, it was over. The Afton legacy.
I'm okay.
With all of them
I'm okay without that.
Box. The flames danced around the office. Mike, for the first time in decades, was happy. But William wasn't gone yet. Although the darkest pit of hell was open and waiting for him, something or someone wouldn't allow him to move on. Instead, he found himself locked in moments from his past. The pizzeria, his son's room, his underground bunker.
We forgot to tell you we have new tenants. No. Hell's closed for the time being. We're on public holiday. Can't accept new tenants at this time. The heck is that?
Started coming. Without warning, animatronics, both new and old, began to jump out at him, bite him, rip him limb from limb. The pain was immeasurable. Make it stop. Make it stop. William, for the first time, longed for death, an end to this torture. Just as it felt like he couldn't take it anymore, everything was quiet again. It was as if the world had been reset. There was a brief moment of quiet, and then the onslaught began again. Dozens of faces from his past, all focused on him. A waking nightmare that he couldn't escape from. More pain, more ripping.
Well,
it was his own personal hell, but why? Why couldn't he just die? And then he saw them, a group of characters he never thought he'd see again. Those janky, stolen characters that had started everything. The mediocre melody.
So you're telling me I can't come to hell and visit you? You're closed?
Henry had made but mixed in with
please come back in 3 business days.
William heard something else. It was barely a whisper, but he could just make out the words.
He tried to release you. He tried to release us. But I'm not gonna let that happen. I will hold you here. I will keep you here.
The female voice in the
No matter
background
how
is
many
horrifying.
times they burn us.
That voice. He knew that voice, but from where?
Greetings from the fire, and from the one you should not have killed.
The one he shouldn't have killed. William thought back. He'd done a lot of awful things, but there was always the one that stood out. Not Charlie, his drunken act of revenge.
He doesn't care about Charlie!
Instead, it was the one that he had lost control with. The one that he had broken beyond repair for no good reason other than because he
Oh,
could.
the girl.
The one that he'd stuffed inside the golden bear that his partner used to wear. Cassidy. They were back, and now they were trying to punish him, to make him suffer like he'd made them suffer. It was almost like William and
that's
Cassidy's
fair.
souls had been locked together, fused by a collective rage and spite.
Cassidy very, very
refusing to
slay
move
of you.
on. But while Cassidy was so focused on taking revenge, they actually did the one thing that would be the downfall for so many others. They kept William alive. Even though fire should have destroyed the remnant that was coursing through his being, Cassidy kept William breathing, paving the way for his escape. William's will was so strong, his soul so powerful that he managed to put a part of himself inside the circuitry that housed the spring-locked suit. And there, his consciousness lay, inside a single circuit board, waiting for someone to find him and set him free. A person that no one would suspect. Okay, so a bit of a shorter chunk, but an important one as we shift perspectives to Mike and tell his side of the story. And with FNAF VR, AR, and Security Breach having so much to explain, I didn't want to rush through things by trying to cram it all in here. Don't worry, I know you've all been patient. The final video is happening on March 25th. That is locked, it is getting ready to go. Trust me, I want this thing to be over and done with as much as you. I am not just stretching it out for the views. But before we wrap up for the day,
we're on to you, Mr. Matt.
The Orville elephant in the room, Mike's quest for revenge. You might have noticed that I was
the elephant's the only
There's
cute
good reason for
one.
that. I don't know him. There is no good way for me to make him fit in. Here's what I do know. We know with a high amount of certainty that Michael Afton is the character that we play as up until Ultimate Custom Night. Mike Schmidt and Fritz Smith, the security guards for FNAF 1 and FNAF 2 respectively, get fired for, quote, tampering with the animatronics and odor. So weird connection between the two, right? But now, look at the phantom
he
animatronics
smelled so bad.
They use models from both FNAF
But
1
he got
and
fired.
FNAF 2, meaning whoever is sitting in that security guard chair, Fazbear Frights, they have to have seen both locations and their animatronics. And that's not all. Their designs are burnt. It's a weird detail in the game, and it's something that the character encyclopedia repeatedly calls attention to. The burned texture for these phantom animatronics. Why is that so unusual?
He is a walking
Fazbear
corpse.
Frights is the first time in the
He
franchise
already
that we
smelled
hear about
that bad.
burning down. From that
He
point
should
on in the
douse
story, it's like the
himself
characters
in
turn pyro
Abercrombie and
suddenly
Finch
set fires left
perfume,
and
don't
right.
you
But
think?
for the first 3 games, nothing ever catches fire. The animatronics are just moved or
Get a little
repurposed in some
spritz.
way. So when did they burn? And why would our security guards see them as being burned? Someone has to have been going location to location, setting these places on fire, purging the sins of the past. We know we're definitely playing as Mike and sister location in FNAF 6 based on the in-game dialogue. And in FNAF 4, there's an Easter egg where we can hear the phone call from Night 1 of FNAF 1, meaning that whoever's in that bedroom has heard the recording as a security guard. We also know that Mike has seen the nightmare animatronics based on his drawings in the security logbook. So overall, there is solid evidence that connects all of FNAFs 1 through 6. You'll also notice
From
how
what
the
I
character
learned, Bus,
encyclopedia
using
doesn't have a
perfume
page for
on
Mike
odor
Afton.
will
This
make
thing
it
has a
worse.
page
Oh,
for
it's
Chocolate
Jover.
Bunny Bonnie, but not Michael. Some tells me they don't want us to confirm
Drowns
how many games
himself
he's
in
been in,
Axe
because that would
body
confirm
spray.
too much of the theory. In short, this gives us an incredibly
Old
compelling,
Spice,
complete
Axe
narrative.
body
Mike
spray,
as our
Abercrombie
protagonist, and
perfume.
William,
One
his
of these
father,
has
is
to
our
work.
antagonist. Mike accidentally kills his brother in Fredbear's mouth, which begins our story and sets William down his pathway of destruction. Mike
It's a
is then
corpse,
haunted by
it'll
the guilt of
sting
his
Michael.
past,
It's
and
okay, he
ultimately
can take a
right
little
across
bit of
the
a
rest
stingy
the games.
sting.
In sister location, he learns what his father's been up to and realizes what he has to do to correct it.
All
After
3 at
failing
once,
to
yeah,
finish
like
the job in
William's
FNAF
busy
3, he
making this
ultimately
silver
helps
goop
Henry end it all in FNAF
concoctions.
6. It is
Meanwhile,
great.
I'm
It is
trying to
a
make
clean
the
narrative.
ultimate
There is just one
anti-stink
problem, timing.
bomb.
Mike's quest can't really start until he's been down to sister location, seen baby, and gotten himself scooped. That's when he finds out about Afton's secret life.
I can't believe that
He's gonna
phrase.
start to smell
That's
'cause
where he
he's a
got
walking,
himself
talking,
scooped.
rotting corpse. And we know that he's not going down into the bunker until the Funtime animatronics have been made, Freddy's has been closed, and Afton is out of the picture. That all should be happening post-1993, after William is sealed behind a wall. But that then presents us with a few problems. Afton has already dismantled the original animatronics as we see in the FNAF 3 minigames. How are those things getting burned if they're already deconstructed? But more importantly, we see FNAF 2 paychecks.
Is this
with the
another
date
retcon thing?
1987. That is way earlier than I think it can be. To be fair, Fritz Smith's pink slip on night 7 doesn't have a date, but it's a bit weird to say that the first few nights are in 1987 and then employee number 3 is hired on years after the restaurant closes. Anyway, just wanted to call that out because I don't have a solid answer for it, and I'd love to see your comments down below. And with that, my friends, this chapter comes to a close. We'll see you on March 25th for the grand finale as we cover the final 3 games in the franchise and the controversial answers we think solves what those games were trying to tell us. Until then, my Faz heads, remember, even though Afton
I don't like being called a Faz head. Take it back.
a little bit on the dry, dehydrated
I do
side.
not
Expose 3 fires
consider
and be dead for a
myself
decade
a
until they do
Faz
that to
head.
me. Fortunately, thanks to today's sponsor, Air Up, I think we can help him out with the hydration thing, not the burning alive thing. You guys know that.
Not the ad!
It's boring. And that then led me to my current
I go
crippling
sleep
Diet
night
Coke
night. Say
addiction.
thank you for
However,
being
Air
here.
Up has
Have a
found
good
way to harness the
night.
power of science to get me to drink more water, which not only
I don't know
do
why
love
I'm
the principle,
continuing
but
to
I can
watch
truly
this.
say
I
it's
feel like I
changed my
should.
drinking habits
Maybe
forever.
this is
They use
relevant.
these special scent pods that fit directly on the
I've
top of
never
the bottle,
seen
and
these things
almost
in my
as if by
life.
magic, it makes the water taste
Are they out
like
of business by
basically
now?
anything you want. How? If you guys have ever watched Food Theory, you've probably heard me say that smell
Food
is more important than
Theory.
taste, and that's exactly what Air Up's taken advantage of here.
He has
These
game
pods are full of
theory.
flavorful
He has
smells
fashion
like
theory.
watermelon, peach,
He has
wild
food
berry. That was my
theory.
personal favorite. And by having the pods in front of your nose as you're drinking, it makes your brain think that that's what you're tasting. But in fact, you're just drinking good old H2O. No additives, no preservatives, no sugars, no
And
syrups, no
film
aspartame, no
theory.
nothing. I love my Air Up, but naturally, when I tell other people about it, they're skeptical, right? It's a weird
This is a
concept.
cinematic
So I got
universe
members of
in
Team
itself.
Theorists to try it for themselves, and they were also
Food
blown
theory's
away
still
by the
around
results.
even
Lee, Amy, and Tom, 3 of our creative
now.
directors, they walk around with their Air Up bottles constantly. Lee loves his so much that he even bought one for his brother's wedding.
Stop
present.
lying,
Tom
Matt.
says the
Stop
orange vanilla
lying.
straw
I've
flavor
never
reminds him
seen
of ice
someone
creams
have
that he
these
used to eat as a
things.
kid, which sounds way more exciting than just plain old water. And the great thing is, if you aren't like me and you just want some good old-fashioned water,
Look
every
at
once
that
in a while, you
face!
just drop
That's the
flavor
face of
pod
a liar.
down away from your nose, and suddenly you're back to drinking out of a regular water bottle. The team and I love
It's
Air Up.
just like a
Seriously, there are
scented
just so many of
tab
these
that you
bottles
put
in
on
my
top of
office
your
now,
water
and I wouldn't
bottle.
keep
Like,
saying
come
yes to
on.
their sponsorships if I didn't genuinely believe in the quality of the product.
Is this
So head on
company
down
still
to the
up?
description and click the link to purchase your bottle right now.
If it
Plus,
is,
if you purchase any
then
starter
oh
set and use the
wow,
code
I'm very
FREEFAVE5,
interested
you'll
in this
receive
product. Please
free
sponsor me.
favorite 5 variety pack. That's gonna get you 5 one-pod packs of orange vanilla, raspberry lemon, peach, watermelon, and again, my personal favorite, wild berry. That way you get a
I've
good
seen
sample
someone
of a lot of
actually
different
drink it,
flavors, and you can
really?
find one that's perfect for your tasting enjoyment. Sadly, there's no burning metal or remnant flavors for Afton to enjoy, but I'm sure the others will do the trick. Strikes me as a raspberry lemon kind of guy. So once again,
The
head on down to
MCU
the
map has
description, get
cinematic
yourself a
universe,
starter pack, and
exactly.
remember to use the code FREEFAVE5. That is FREEFAV number 5, no spaces, to get your free favorite 5 variety pack. Experience
you,
how
Mr.
crazy
Matt.
awesome a water bottle can really be. And as
Thank you, but you won't know this, Mr. Matt, but in the year of 2025, we've moved on from these whatever thingamajigs. The water bottle market has been monopolized by the Stanley mug. It's sad you weren't able to live to see this era. All right, final part. We drink VTuber gamer subs now. Exactly, we drink VTuber gamer subs out of Stanley mugs now. Chamu, hello, hello, welcome in, welcome in. It's my first time making it to stream. Welcome in, Imp. Welcome in, welcome in. We're watching some FNAF lore from the game theory, and we're on to our final part. FNAF, the ultimate timeline finale. Let me think. Does this game series have a happy ending? It has to have some kind of satisfactory ending to it, right? Or would they leave it more open-ended? That's also possible. That's also possible. But what would a happy ending even consist of at this point? Like the whole Williams family has gone psycho and they're all like part animatronics already. They've been burnt to pieces and smithereens several times now, but some are still surviving. Williams is now surviving in a circuit board. Stares at my PC suspiciously. Can there be a happy ending? Maybe they all download antivirus, so Mr. Williams gone for good, and then a young girl takes over the franchise and actually spreads happiness and peace amongst children. I feel like that's the only possible happy ending. The lore is still ongoing. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Just realized Freddy has the same movement as you. I think he's in love with me. I think he wants me so bad. What a freak. Imagine William's circuit board was put into a Bitcoin farmer. We don't need things like this. That's horrifying to think of. The Fazbear Bitcoin.
Seems like everyone is good. Young. Secret of the Mimic came out this year with better writing. It's still ongoing? It's still ongoing? The games? They're still releasing new games? Sadly, yes. Is it still the original creator, the original dev? Because I heard that the original creator of FNAF was kind of put off of the series for a bit. Like, the fans were a little chaotic gremlins. And perhaps not the best fan base. Which put the original creator off of the game for a little bit. 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐭 creator is still doing stuff. Okay. They're milking the cactus dry. Yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And there's the movies now, too. I cannot believe they created movies out of this. Are the movies good? Is it a live-action movie? The finale will be even crazier and more insane that it makes William looking like a child here in comparison. Dun dun dun. Movies, books, games, and more. Truly, the cinematic universe we never asked for. But you know, the MCU is facing a downturn in recent years, so maybe we do need the Freddyverse to take over. You know, with the fall of the MCU rises the FNAF cinematic universe. Maybe we need more FNAF movies. The second movie is coming in December. We should watch it together. FNAF movie is meh. I will die on this hill. The cinematronics in the movie trailer that I watched are kind of horrifying. Kind of horrifying. But I think they look a little less scary than what we've seen in this game theory series. somehow. But alright, on to the finale.
Hello, Internet. Welcome
Hello,
to Game
Internet.
Theory, and the final part of my FNAF timeline, where today we're bringing our story to a close by talking about the most complicated and controversial part of the timeline, the part that I've been dreading most of all.
Why does
the
Chica
end, the
look
moment we were
scarier than
finally forced to
Freddy,
come to
though?
Some definitive and difficult answers trying to explain what the heck we were watching in Security Breach. The last two episodes have been about death. The death of Afton's family, the deaths of multiple children, the death of the franchise itself as Mike and Henry figuratively and literally burn it all down. Today's episode, though, and the current end of this franchise, is instead all about rebirth, the return of old characters in new forms, and the controversial rebirth of a franchise entering the next era of its story. But before we hop into the timeline,
It should be a series instead of a movie. I could picture that, like a Netflix series.
I know, I promised one. I was really excited about it, but I just couldn't make it work with my schedule and all the other
I get it,
guests'
Matt.
schedules.
You're
That
busy
said, I
being
still do plan on
successful.
doing one over the coming weeks with special guests. Just make sure that you're subscribed and either have all notifications turned on, or you're just watching our community tab for
With
the
your
announcement as to
5
when that's gonna
offshoot
happen.
channels.
And now, without any further ado, we finally
And
reach
your
the end and a new
vitamin
beginning
water.
to our story. Fazbear Entertainment was dead.
There is no need for you to return to work next week, as Fazbear Entertainment is no longer
Unemployment! Yay!
All assets redistributed. The company was outright dissolved. Even the memories of the horrors that had happened there started to fade away in the public consciousness. The people were gone too. William was dead. Henry was gone. A whole generation of young Emilys and Aftons had lost their lives to the horrors of the pizzeria. All of them collateral damage to the man in the bunny suit.
Bloodline destroyed.
Ever touched was dead and gone. Well, all except one.
Pay your child support, you deadbeat! I'm
Wifey?
keeping the diamond ring. I also set the house on fire.
Was my prediction right? Is Wifey coming back?
Early days, back when things with William were good, they'd had the perfect home, a thriving business, the ideal family.
I stand.
But shortly after their youngest son died,
I stand depressed, single mother.
lost in his work. Obsessive.
Well, does she count as a single mother if her children are all gone?
Man that she had fallen in love with, to a drunken monster struggling to hold himself together. And despite her trying to reach out to him in those desperate days,
You know what she needs to do? Move to France and find another lover. Don't sing strange songs. Move to France.
Admit it, you wanted to let me in.
For her sake, she had to leave the relationship, and from there, she largely faded into obscurity.
Can you imagine being William's wifey? You're like washing dishes after coming home from a 10-hour shift at the factory or something. And suddenly you hear your own voice in some sing-song tune reverberating through the whole house. I like killing children. You knock on your husband's door, honey, dinner's ready. You open the door, see like surround 6 CCTV cameras monitoring your own children. And you're like, oh, honey, come out when you're ready. Alright, thank you for the follow. Welcome in.
A mystery from William's past, a footnote in his history, and that was fine for her. She wanted to leave that part of her life behind. She tried to move forward, never wanting to hear the name Freddy Fazbear again. A time defined by mistakes and broken promises. But
She's a
then,
Freddy hater.
Paperwork started to arrive.
Paperwork?
Fazbear Entertainment began to close as a corporate entity. Suddenly, her mail was flooded with
Is she gonna be strapped down with debt?
Obligations. She had been there since the beginning, helping William in the early days of his business, and now
This is
as a
why you need to get a
shareholder and
formal
sole living
divorce,
member of the
ma'am.
Afton family, all copyrights and trademarks of both Afton Robotics and Fazbear Entertainment passed on to her. Memories of this past
Father
life
of
that
the
she had
year.
long left behind. Looking at the blueprints, the contracts, the memos. she
No,
felt
don't
her
look!
eyes begin to reopen. The regrets of a happy family that had been torn away from her. William had
Let's
always
be
been
real,
rude.
ma'am.
That's what
Your
had
family was
attracted
never
him in the
happy.
first place. But he'd also been too blinded by obsession and pride. He was too jealous, too petty, too unable to actually see a bigger picture.
My
And
Halloween
now,
was not
holding
good.
the
Oh
paperwork
no,
that
it's Eric.
contained
There's still a
decades of
bit
heartbreak
left in
and trauma, she
Halloween, so
realized it was her turn.
it's time
She
for the
was
redemption
holding the
arc.
power. This was her chance, and one thought resonated in her head. I will put them back together. I will put them all back together.
Huh? Why? 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 Wifey, you don't have to do this anymore. Let it go. Move to France. France is right there.
She would be the one to rebuild this family, to rebuild the pieces of that
Yeah,
shattered
you could
life.
rebuild your family by marrying a Parisian man.
To reclaim the kids that Fazbear had stolen from her. But
You can have new kids with a Parisian man.
looking at William's work now laid out before her, she knew that he had been onto something, collecting remnant, robotic humanoids, digital conscience transfers. The pieces were all in place. They were just scattered, fragmented. It was almost like there were too many ideas going in too many different directions. It was such an important idea that she reiterated that point to herself. There were too many ideas going in too many different directions. That said, there had to be a way to save it all. She just needed to put it all back together. But how? To rebuild her family, she would first need to rebuild the franchise that had stolen them.
How can it be that she managed to like run away from her terrible husband? She's, I guess, formally divorced now with William dead. And yet she comes back into this? I don't understand.
Ownership over the characters.
You want what you can't have.
Patents in the Fazbear name. She converted the corporation back to an LLC, a structure for smaller businesses that are usually family-owned. The irony was fitting. From there, she would need remnant, and lots of remnant was the key. Clearly,
How did
in the
she even
later
know
years of
about
his life,
this?
William had been using Circus Babies Entertainment and Rentals as a remnant farm, sending robots to kids' birthday parties in the hopes of nabbing bits of the stuff here and there. But clearly, it wasn't enough. He had, what, like 4, maybe 5 animatronics going out every week? No. It was a decent idea, but to get the remnant they required, it needed scale. Dozens, hundreds of animatronics all out there.
She's
all
talking
gathering
like a
remnant from
marijuana
unsuspecting
farmer.
Customers. But to do that would require help, something William would never ask for. William had kept everything in-house. His obsession with control limited.
Is she gonna
him.
ask
Claire,
Henry?
though, she wasn't
Is she
nearly
gonna
that precious.
marry
Plans like this
Henry?
required partners, people outside of Fazbear to do the heavy lifting. So
Hello
she
and
contacted
hello,
a mid-sized
Nathaniel.
delivery
Welcome
company,
in.
DLZ Shipping Solutions, to help build replicas of all the original animatronics. And with meal delivery apps being all the rage, why not an animatronic
I love seeing her brain
service?
explode when I know all this stuff by heart.
Halloween
Watched it one 120 FNAF theories Matt Pat has made. Oh no.
She would make sure that they made skins for every occasion.
120?
Chocolate bonnies for Easter.
Wait, she's kind of cute. She's kind of cute. She's making these little cute little seasonal products.
Apps being all the rage, why not an animatronic delivery service?
Excuse me?
One to
Huh?
celebrate
Wait,
your birthday, your Halloween
excuse?
party. How about a 4th of
An animatronic delivery service? When was this portion of the game released with Miss Fazbear here?
July picnic? We'll invite Liberty Chica and 4th of July Freddy on over. She would make sure that they made skins for every occasion.
Honestly,
Chocolate
Liberty
bunnies
Chica's
for
the best
Easter,
I've ever
Shamrock
seen
Freddy's
her.
for St. Patrick's Day, Dia de los Muertos Chicas. And thus, the Fazbear Funtime service was born.
That's right, with the Fazbear Fun.
Wait, who is that man? I know that man.
Funtime service.
Who is that man?
That's right.
Markiplier.
You'll never.
You know what? Maybe my whole time I thought MatPat and Markiplier were the same person. In my mind, it's just a mind meld of all these popular YouTubers. I just think they're all the same person.
You'll never be alone again. You'll always have someone watching your back.
Was it ridiculous? Absolutely. Was it a sellout?
Hey,
no doubt. It
hello,
was exactly the
you.
sort of thing that William would have hated, but it needed to be done to get enough remnant. Normally, the novelty of ordering an
Every
animatronic
YouTuber
wore
is
off
a
after,
singular
like,
hive
one,
mind.
two
Exactly, you
times, but with new
understand.
skins for new
They
holidays,
don't even
suddenly you'd
sound the
have yourself an
same.
animatronic
They hold the
perfect for
same
every
presence
occasion.
in my
It would keep
mind.
people hooked. It would keep them ordering the latest and greatest that
Alrighty,
Fazbear
I hope I'm
Entertainment
pronouncing that
LLC
right.
had to
Welcome and
offer.
welcome
And
in.
all the while, they'd be collecting and returning the remnant back to her. In a word, it was brilliant. There was just one problem with it. No one trusted
not
the
alright.
Fazbear
She's
name.
not
The
alright.
company's brand was still mud.
Time to rebrand. Why don't we call it Bear Faz instead?
Children, nothing kills a party
Go
quite
for
like
your
the threat of
hydrate.
death, you know. So she needed to find a way to discredit the stories that had come before. She needed to win back the public's affections, reactivate some nostalgia for the spooky stories of their childhoods. She needed a game. Multiple games, in fact.
They lied to her.
She's the creator of the FNAF games. Behind the ear, behind the ear.
They lied to all of us. They told us that the whole point of this VR game was to undo the bad PR done by a rogue indie game developer. But that's not true at all. Those indie games
Not
were
the
designed
rogue
to conceal
indie game
and make light of what
dev.
happened. This isn't just an attempt to rebrand. It's an elaborate cover-up.
Struggling game developers were a dime a dozen online, most working on their magnum opus between shifts at the Dollar General. So she found one. Steve just picked him out of obscurity. Right? Makes a desperate
Online.
doofus willing to say and do anything for a
What
couple
year
extra
are we
bucks.
in
She fell
now?
right in line, as expected, delivering stupid little things with dumb generic names like Mango
Your boy
Express,
Dixie,
A Little
welcome,
Boy's
thank you
Air
for the
Adventure,
follow.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Bad gameplay with even worse graphics. But
Wait,
hey,
I like
job
this
done.
game better! Chica's party is cute! Chica is just like collecting little cakes. This is adorable. This is adorable. No one's getting eaten. I'm gonna play this one. Chica's party, I'm a stan.
Talking about the clues inside of these things, searching for the hidden lore. They were actively making jokes about dead kids at pizzerias. Her husband's twisted history of serial murder had suddenly been reduced to a mere Nancy Drew mystery to be solved. The plan had
I think
worked.
it's in
Freddy
security
Fazbear's
breach.
was suddenly more
Oh.
popular than ever. Things were going shockingly well. Her takeover and reboot of the franchise was full and complete.
I like that how she's the best entrepreneur in the whole family. So slay.
William had always
So
been
slay, Miss
visionary. He always
Fazbear.
thought so small scale. He was careful to a fault. Not her though. She knew that this latest project needed to be big. It needed to be flashy.
Wow, she's gonna open a location in Vegas. What? What is this? What is this? This is why we need more women in business. We could get sexy bear men. Don't you want this? You at home, don't you want this? This is the best Mr. Freddy Fazbear has ever looked. Look at his gold, shiny pecs.
Fazbear products. So with a steady supply of remnant flowing in, it was finally time. The stage was set. It
That's
was time to get
perfect.
to her real goal, literally rebuilding a family.
Okay, ma'am. Let's not rebuild the family. Keep with the disco glam Freddy Fazbear's.
The one that was the first to get ripped away from her. She'd seen down in his bunker that William had gotten very close to replicating artificial humans using animatronic technology.
The glam era.
Rebuild her boy from the ground up using robotic parts. His shaggy brown hair. His
Would you rather find yourself alone in a forest with a man or sexy animatronic murder bear? This is hard. This is hard. What's wrong with man, first of all? That has to be a catch. There must be something wrong with man.
Unless he was explicitly told. The only thing
Sexy animatronic murder bear? Well, you did say he was sexy. If he looked like the glam bear, I'd choose the glam bear.
Or cause some sort of a core reboot to his hard drive, or x-ray his metallic bones, then yeah, he would be exposed. But otherwise, to the outside world, he was just your typical normal human boy. She worked down in the bowels of the Pizza Plex, giving him life, but it was one
normal.
It was another to help him remember his identity. He died so young, so early.
Remember my son? Remember how my other son, Mikey, terrorized you when you were a child? Yes, remember those precious memories so you can be the son you used to be.
There was no
This sounds like a great idea.
No documentation that she could just download into his digital brain. So bit by bit, she trained him, forcing him to remember who he was. In a corner of the room, she even made a makeshift dinner table, a reminder of their happier days. The family recreated.
I don't remember them ever being happy.
Father and the mother at the head of the table. The one in charge, the one in command, the one bringing all of this to fruition. But his progress was admittedly slower than she would have liked. At first, he could only
She's like, learn faster.
Then rudimentary drawings and crude letters. But bit by bit,
Yum.
images of his past life started to come through. Balloons, colors, houses, bears and faces, birthday parties. All for me. Gregory was alive. As the robot boy embraced her, she felt a warmth that she hadn't in decades. This was the joy that she'd been working.
She should have moved to France.
This was what it was all for. Her son, back in her arms again. The plan was working. She had to keep going. Next was William. If the family was truly going to be put together, she would need him.
No! She wants that man back? This is how you get trapped in abusive relationships, you know? This is how you get trapped in the cycle.
Old Freddy Fazbear's pizza place where Henry had trapped him. In fact, that's specifically why she insisted on building the Pizzaplex there over the sinkhole. It's the best.
She's into that, I guess.
For the entire operation.
Like us would say, no, it's not an abusive relationship. It's employment, Shakov. It's employment. I'm your employer. Don't you love employment?
Scorched flesh fused into the fur lining. Hollow black sockets where eyes once.
Wow, how
a smell
handsome.
that reeked of burned carbon and blood.
Surely makes you feel in love again.
It was just the tangled sinews of a creature that was once called human. How far this brilliant man had fallen. It was clear
How on
that her
earth
work
does
was
decomp work here?
Afton was practically lifeless. The man may not have been able to die, but he was about as close as you could come. And his body would need a lot of reconstruction. Replacement arms and endoskeleton reinforcements were the top priority. Maybe pulled from their new
I miss my toes.
You'd have to see if they
It's
had any spare
okay, it's
body
okay,
parts lying
Shakov.
around
It's
that they
okay,
could
you didn't
steal.
need them
In the meantime, though, she
anyway.
threw the
You're
husk
stronger
that was
without
once her
them.
husband into a life support pod infused with aerosolized
Life
vitamin to help
support
keep him stable.
pod.
But more important than recovering his body was recovering his mind. In his current state, he was comatose.
You know what? It just came to me. But the FNAF universe is exactly like 𝐒𝐚𝐭. Do you see it? Do you see it? They're the same! The brain-mind preservation, that being the only human bit left controlling these animatronic robotic bodies?
An empty
You know, all they had to do was make the fursuits sexy lady suits. But then they would be direct competitors.
Over 108 degrees Fahrenheit.
Collab when? Yeah, let's pitch this collab to 𝐒𝐚𝐭.
brain to goo. Gone was the brilliant, frustrating mind that had drawn her to him in the
You're
first
not
place.
wrong.
She had a plan. Unlike her darling boy
It's all
Gregory,
connected.
Afton
It's
had
all
found ways to
connected.
record his consciousness. Fundamentally, the brain is only a series of electrical connections after all.
And
so
you know,
why
if the
couldn't you
body gets
replicate that
damaged, you
in
can
form of a
rebuild the
standard circuit
body.
board? In
It
essence,
all
you
makes
could create
sense.
a digital
This is the
consciousness.
Nikkei
And
lore.
one thing she knew about William, he was nothing.
Oh my god, what if they're connected? What if before they became Nikkeis, they were these Fazbear suits? Like, they evolved the animatronics so much that they turned into the Nikkei suits. I mean, like, Nikkei's in some far-off future, right? Oh my god, not like this. Not like this. My sexy anime waifus used to be Freddy Fazbear. Love's about acceptance, unconditional acceptance. So even if Red Hood used to look like Freddy Fazbear, I'll still love her. Boo! Happy Halloween, Saerin. Happy Halloween to you too, Otaku.
Cautious, a planner, someone who had backup plans to his backup plans. And sure enough, there it was, buried in piles of old animatronic CPUs, a record of Afton himself. But she needed someone to test it.
Someone was definitely here during the night. It had to have been the client. I mean, they sent us that stuff in the first place with no explanation, told us to scan it, said it would expedite the process so we wouldn't need to program any pathfinding ourselves.
Unlike the other games that she'd paid to have made in the past, this one had a different purpose. This wasn't
Hear
about
me out,
PR,
would
it was about
smash
getting
no
William
regrets?
back up
The
and
bow
running,
or the
spreading his
lady?
virus to the masses.
You acknowledge that Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible
Important
for
question.
digital consciousness transference, real-world manifestations of digital
Yes.
A new developer, Silver Parasol Games, to scan the boards and bring her husband into the
This is a safe space. I will judge you silently.
player, giving him a new body, a new agency. There was just one complication. Afton's hold wasn't as powerful as she had hoped. He wasn't able to gain complete control. The first trial run, Jeremy
The
was
VR
so
mask.
desperate to escape from his grasp that he sliced his own face off with a paper shredder. Messy, Afton's followers were reluctant, to say the least, but it was the second attempt that looked like it had the potential to kill two birds with one stone. Enter Vanessa.
Vanessa!
Attempt that looked like it had the potential to kill two birds with one stone. Enter Vanessa.
She's beautiful. Please. 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 Please make Vanessa normal. Can she be normal? Please. Please. Oh, Vanessa, please. Vanessa, please. Please. She's so beautiful.
Vanessa. Mrs. Afton wanted a surrogate daughter. Her darling Elizabeth would have been a
Very
young
dark.
woman with a
Congratulations on your 5-stream
someone who
streak.
wasn't Elizabeth, but could be just like her. Could she have just rebuilt her like Gregory? Sure, but she decided against it because she wanted an actual human
What would normal
mother-daughter
even
connection.
be?
Well, that, and it would be redundant and narratively unsatisfying.
Wifeable?
Same family. What could she say? William had put a lot of tools on the table for her to use, and she was planning on using
OMG,
them
my
all.
Oshi
Plus,
is
Elizabeth
collabing
had
with
always
Matt
been
Pat.
so
Yeah, I'm trying to get him out of
loyal to
retirement.
It was time to give her a second
Hello,
chance.
Kijin. Everyone say hello to
And Vanessa seemed to be
Kijin.
the perfect candidate.
Vanessa! You know what? I thought Vanessa was holding a bottle of milk this whole time. But I don't think it is. What is that? A glowing eggplant? What is she holding? What is she holding? What is this? Is this supposed to be a glowing eggplant? A flashlight, a torch. Ah, they need to work on that. They need to work on that. So you have an interesting mind. I was like, you know, it makes sense. Security guard Vanessa is holding a bottle of milk. She gets thirsty during her shift. What can you do? It doesn't look like they give any free meals. Honestly, I haven't seen them serve a single slice of pizza in this whole game theory video. Like, aren't they working in a pizzeria? Where's the food? It looks like a vanilla candle. Ooh la la, fancy. Fancy, fancy.
To fill the role.
Your dad's name was Bill. Your dad didn't play fair, did he?
Oh my god,
He
sexy
used to make
voice.
Your mum look bad in court. He manipulated you. I know your mum after she lost the custody case.
I was supposed to be a good girl.
She started as a QA
She
tester
was
at Silver
supposed to
Parasol
be a
Games, the VR
good
game
girl.
development company that was part of her plan to bring back William. But more importantly, Vanessa checked all the correct boxes. Right age, blonde, green eyes with a fondness for flowers and the outdoors.
Okay.
In many ways, it was her daughter all over again.
Okay.
Except it wasn't just looks and personality. What really mattered was Vanessa's mind. Underconfident, coming from a broken home, motherless, able to be manipulated. Yes, she would do nicely.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. She's like, you know, she's so similar to my daughter, so insecure and easy to manipulate. When I look at her, I just think, there's my good little girl. Girl failure. Yeah, she's a girl failure.
One to save dear old daddy, just as the real Elizabeth would have wanted.
I will make you proud, Daddy.
While testing the VR game, William's digital consciousness merged with Vanessa. Oh sure, she fought, fragmenting
You know
Afton's
how
code into a series of tapes hidden across
a lot
the
of
game, trying to do
people
web searches
think
to
being a
regain
game
control of her life,
tester
but it wasn't enough.
is the
She was
perfect
weaker than
career.
Jeremy. She
Now
was a
that I'm
thrall
watching this,
that
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
final moments of lucidity had to obey.
Hi,
With Vanessa,
Daddy.
it was a 2-for-1 deal. She
Hello,
was getting
baby
a daughter
girl.
back, while also bringing her husband one
Happy
step
Halloween to
closer
you.
reactivation. She just had to make sure that Vanessa was headed the right way. The reborn Gregory was an expert hacker. Part of the benefits.
What is this? What is this? What is this? Can you imagine you're like a divorced wifey with all your children dead, and you're recreating your children to be the perfect parts of how you remember your kid, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna rebuild my son to be an expert hacker. Who does this?
So Clara had him keep.
But my daughter, I'm gonna make sure she gets reborn as an insecure, sad crybaby. This says a lot about our society. Twirls my hair and farts cutely. Oh my gosh, smells like strawberry. He's a genius. He's a hacker.
Tabs on Vanessa, hacking into her emails and
No!
sessions to ensure the future
Vanessa!
Elizabeth was falling in line. If any of the therapists started to ask
Vanessa,
any
my
questions, they were
wife!
promptly dismissed from their positions. And while Gregory kept tabs on Vanessa's personal life, Mrs. Afton made sure to clear a path for her.
Not like this.
With Silver Parasol's collapse at the hands of the anomaly, she then had the possessed Vanessa bring the contaminated circuit board
No,
to DLZ shipping, the Fazbear
Vanessa!
Funtime service. More glitches, more Remnant, more Afton. But it was her last move that was the best. In a true masterpiece of poetry, she brought Vanessa over to be chief security officer at the Pizzaplex. A true family tradition to don the hat badge, and all it took was a recommendation from the top as well as some emails marked for deletion. Sure, Vanessa didn't have relevant experience for the job, but when it comes directly from the CEO, does it really matter? Husband, son, daughter. A corpse, a robot, a human. All that was left was Michael. Poor, troubled Michael. The boy that killed her youngest. The one that would spend years trying to make his guilty conscience right again. A self-professed protector. Well, she knew she needed him to complete the family.
I can
something
still
told her
fix
that the
Vanessa, it's
problem had
okay.
already solved itself. Something had shifted when using Glamrock Freddy to excavate the buried
Glamrock Freddy? Glamrock Freddy is so slay. Look at him. Look at his beauticious body. Why is he holding a rock? Iron, hi, chat. Hello, Siegfried. Welcome in, welcome in. Game theory indeed. Look how beautiful this Freddy is. He has the best teeth out of all the Freddys we've seen. I slay. I stan.
I have been here before. I found myself for the first time when I cleared the path. I have changed. My friends are here, but I can protect you.
He's a protector.
Maybe it was the remnant that had coursed through Michael's veins. Maybe it was the spirit of Michael living on as a protector. But he was there, somewhere inside of Glamrock Freddy. He could feel it. And just like that, she'd won. She'd done it. Sure, there were still some kinks to work out, some final brainwashing of Vanessa, some rehabilitation of William, but they were there. Finally, all together.
Wow, what a
again
beautiful
under one
family.
roof. The Aftons reunited.
So
Happy
sweet,
ending.
so quaint,
That's
so
how it could have
cute.
ended. That's how it should have ended, had it not been for a few unanticipated developments. For one, something was just wrong with the Pizzaplex. Almost as if the entire building was haunted, possessed. Puppet plushies hiding on ceilings, behind crates, places that they had no earthly way of belonging. Staff bots with greasy tears down their eyes acting like they were being puppeteered by some sort of a nightmare. Even their sounds had the echo of nightmares long past. It was as though a guardian spirit of the past refused to move on. As long as her husband was around,
this is what it's like to live in a fun house.
It wasn't just in one body, but it was in the essence of the building itself. She had seen stories of houses built on burial grounds getting possessed by angry spirits, but she'd never assumed that it could be real. Then again, in a world of living spirit metal and mind-controlling glitches, who was she to be so judgmental? The whole thing was ridiculous. Why would this be the line that she refused to cross? After all, the Pizzaplex was built over the burial ground of angry spirits, but it was the power cords that finally convinced her that something was wrong. Suddenly, these cords were striped black and white, like the security puppet from generations ago. The very foundations of this place, the materials and wires that constituted it, were rebelling against her. Against
the wires are rebelling
to bring them all together again. And it was being helped by something else.
What is this plot line?
Maybe they were connected, she couldn't be sure, but a blob of living wires could be heard oozing through the walls, stealing pieces and parts of the old animatronics showcased in Rockstar Row. She could only assume that it was a byproduct of all the remnant they'd been collecting. From Afton's testing, she knew that both light and dark remnant existed, one of positive emotions and the other created from
yin and yang.
Agony. Perhaps this thing was an amalgamation of all the darkest parts of the pizzeria's history, a collection of the hatred.
There's no pizza anywhere in this pizzeria. I don't understand.
Alone, it seemed to be harmless, but if any Afton outside of Michael got too close, it would lash out wildly. Even young Gregory, looking to punish the family that had been complicit in its horrible creation. Little did she know
she ate all the pizza.
That bringing the family together would have some unforeseen consequences. Gregory was normally the goodest of boys. She had literally built him that way. But lately, he'd been disappearing more and more often, disobeying her orders, requests. She knew that he loved playing on the arcade machines.
No! It's the bane of all parents. The child has a video game addiction. Wait, isn't he also the hacker? Your hacker son has a video game addiction? It looks like he's playing Plants vs. Zombies on the console.
Being so good as to top the leaderboard on practically all of them. But lately, he was nowhere to be found. She suspected his absence had to do with Glamrock Freddy's failed performance the other night, when he malfunctioned live on stage. Almost as though the core programming of Freddy responded to seeing this rebuilt small boy. Almost like it awakened something inside of him. She'd have to make sure that Vanessa was on the lookout for him. But she'd soon come to learn that Vanessa wasn't enough. Whether it was the influence of the
how dare you speak of Vanessa that way?
Hatred of animatronics seated deep in Gregory's code, something had caused him to rebel, to rip apart
my god, Glamrock Freddy, he looks so slay.
This boy was tearing down the empire that she'd so painstakingly built, freeing Vanessa from her mind control, destroying the remains of Afton in the basement, setting Glamrock Freddy loose. As her carefully created world crumbled around her one more time, she began to plot her revenge. She would have to bring them all to ruin.
What?
And there you have it, my friends. Nearly a decade in the making, my FNAF timeline for where the franchise is here in 2023, the year of Fazbear Frights, by the way. As always, it wouldn't be right for me to finish without going over some of the more controversial takes that I just handed out. I think we can all agree that this part of the timeline was always going to be the hardest, so let me just break down some of the major points. First of all, the biggest swing of this episode, and obviously the one that everything else rests upon, Mrs. Afton being the CEO of Fazbear Entertainment.
What's wrong with that, huh? She's a business babe.
LLC. Here's why I went with this route. Now, first and foremost, the head of Fazbear Entertainment is the single biggest mystery that we're meant to solve at this point in the lore. The Ultimate Guide brings it up repeatedly. Who's running the show? Who is okaying these decisions? And in the security breach memos, we get multiple mentions of someone manipulating things from the top down. Whoever this is, they are the person driving forward every other facet of late-stage FNAF lore here. They're the puppet master who's hiring the indie dev. They're the ones relaunching the brand, building the Pizzaplex over the burial ground. So
I love the Pizzaplex.
Everything at the end of the timeline relies on this
Pizzaplex
over the
You know what? Since this is a part of the 𝐒𝐿 cinematic universe, the 𝐒𝐿, the Fazbear 𝐒𝐿, the Faz 𝐒𝐿 cinematic universe, you know, Miss Fazbear is like the equivalent to Mustang in 𝐒𝐿. They're the same person. They're the same type of person. Does she know how to dance? Like, look at this. Look at this mega golden Greek god looking Fazbear. Kaishi, thank you so much for the thanks. Welcome in. You got any games on your phone? I have Plant vs. Zombie and Angry Birds. Do those strike your fancy? Welcome in, Raiders. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. My name is Saerin. I'm a race queen, hellhound, and today we are learning all about the FNAF lore with Mr. MatPat himself, Mr. Game Theory. I love Plants vs. Zombies. Are you on the side of the plants or the side of the zombies? That's a real question. Hello, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I hope you had an amazing stream. Welcome in, everyone. Please make sure to check out Six. What were you doing over there? Are you playing spoopy games? Are you in season? Sunflower is my goat. Aww. I was doing karaoke, but my stream died now. You see, that's the Halloween spirit. You're being haunted. Do you feel haunted? Do you feel okay? Are you running a fever? Do you feel voices in your head going her, her, her? I sang Toxic by Britney Spears and it just couldn't take the fire. I believe it. I believe it. I'm gonna have to watch that mod. Fitting song, fitting song. Six, are you a FNAF fan? Are you one of those people? Are you a FNAF? What do you call a FNAF fan? A bearhead? A Faz bullet? Fazhead, Fazhead. Are you a Fazhead? Isn't that a crazy fan name? FNAFian, I like that. I've never played a FNAF game, but I watched all the MatPat videos and saw the movie, so kind of... Ah! You probably know more than me then. You're practically an expert. You're like those people who they say, would you read the manga or watch the anime, and you're anime only. Understandable. Matt the femboy cat, welcome in, welcome in. The movie is actually great, I recommend. How would you rate it? If you were a Rotten Tomato reviewer, what would your review be? Movie Freddy. There's a second movie coming December. Like, I can't even imagine what kind of actors they would cast for a FNAF movie franchise. Like, would Scarlett Johansson suddenly pop up? Who's playing these characters? You know, Scarlett Johansson as our lovely girl, the daughter, Vanessa, I stan. That would be good. MatPat himself. MatPat should narrate the movies. So, like, for camp rating, like an 8 out of 10. As a horror movie, 6 out of 10, because it's silly horror. As an adaptation of the game, probably the best one that is out there. These are high ratings. These are high scores. With a 6 out of 10 horror rating, I feel like this is a good date movie. I'm intrigued. We'll rent it out on YouTube if it's available. Game to movie adaptations are so bad. It's true. It's true. Are there any good ones? I don't think so. I don't think so. What I've been saying this whole time is that I think FNAF is the origin story of 𝐒𝐚𝐥𝐬. It's what inspired 𝐒𝐒𝐥𝐬. Have you played 𝐒𝐒𝐥𝐬 before? The one with the hot girls who shake their booty cheeks at you. They're the same. They both have human brains that need to be preserved. They both have animatronic robotic bodies. Thank you for the hydrate. They both have human-like commanders. Aww. Maybe I lied. I forgot the Sonic movies exist. Those are the best adaptations. What about the Pokemon adaptations? That counts as a game to movie adaptation. Are you not a fan of fuzzy Pokemon? Fuzzy Pikachu? Pika Pika. I feel like Fuzzy Pikachu grows on you. Like at first I'm like, what is that fuzzball? And then you start looking at it sideways while you're doing the downward dog yoga pose and you're like, you know what? Kinda cute. Most of the films are already anime. That's true. Sonic fans, were they happy with Sonic 1 to 3? That's the real question. It was so uncanny, but kind of cute. Uncanny, but kind of cute. Like, you can kind of brainwash yourself into thinking it's cute if you're doing the downward dog during yoga session. But thank you so much, Six, once again for the reto. I hope you had a good karaoke regardless. If you need a little breaky, get some water, get some noms, and have some post-stream relaxation, please do. Boss, is Freddy having a pink eye? Oh my god, why does he look like that? Why does he look like that? Stop it, Freddy, we're in polite company. Do not eat the raiders. Oh my god. I don't like this development. I don't like this development one bit. Movie accurate red, maybe? Did you hit a toggle? You think I can just press some buttons on Mr. Freddy Fazbear here and he's gonna do some party tricks like turn his eyes glowing neon red? No, he does this out of his own free will. I can't control this guy. Oh my god. You know, it's growing on me. If you just stare at it in silence for 5 seconds. Yeah, I think it's growing on me. It's like he's RGB. What gamer doesn't like a little bit of RGB? Maybe he'll start doing the other colors soon. Maybe. Good luck, boss. No, I'm totally safe. He's on the other side of the screen here. Quarantined. With chat sitting in between us. So he has to eat all of you before he gets to me. I'm just saying. If you all get eaten and fall as my last line of defense, honestly, you should be disappointed in yourself. You should feel ashamed. With all the Rinterns here, you're getting defeated by an animatronic bear who has gamer RGB tech? Come on now. It's like you're getting defeated by a gamer. Can you imagine how disgraceful it is to lose in a fight with a gamer? Like, gamers already naturally have zero muscle mass. We're flimsy like pieces of white paper. We haven't seen sunlight in how many days? I haven't been out in 6 days. And you're gonna lose to Gamer Bear? I laughed so hard. Six, don't laugh. Freddy's transforming before our eyes into a gamer, and you think this is funny? This is serious business. This isn't right. This is like, you know, people in China in the early 2000s, it was a huge trend to think there was something called gamer addiction. And they would send their children up into the mountains to some kind of like monk camp where they would beat the gamer out of you. You think this is funny? We're gonna have to send Freddy into a monk gamer cleansing camp. It's not right. It's not right. I go to school hiking for 5 miles. That seems healthy. That's probably nice. 07 Freddy. Yeah, I feel like the monks could fix him. Gamer addiction, so like addicted to gamers and not to the games. A little bit of both. A little bit zesty. Freddy use crunch. Are you saying he's gonna start doing crunches on the floor like the exercise routine? Or he's gonna like crouch down on the ground pretending he's a small little guy so we can't see him? Gamer rehab in the Himalayas sounds kind of great. You forgot about the monks beating you part. Is that a worthwhile trade-off? I mean, they also don't let you use your phone. So no more Plants vs. Zombies, that's what I'm saying. No more Angry Bird. That's the most horrific part. Did Boss duplicate and the other one is spring-locked? Are you saying this guy looks like me? Try complimenting me instead. We are not the same. Plating IRL pea shooter to fight off the monks. I like how you think. We're saying one clone got stuck in the suit. You would want to put a clone of me into a Freddy Fazbear suit? Do you hate me? Is this some repressed animosity you have against me? I thought you guys liked me. Even though it's a clone, it still would look exactly like me. Could you stand torturing me when I look like this? You would cold-heartedly put me into a Freddy Fazbear suit? Why would you even entertain such a harrowing thought? Bad. 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 Yes, yes, they say immediately. It's like parents sending their gay child to a gay rehab camp full of other gay children thinking it will ungay them. Yeah, I think instead it would like give them friends to bond with. It would be kind of nice. So are you saying like Freddy would get sent to gamer camp and he'll just be talking with the other pals, the other children about the latest releases? Like, oh, did you play Hollow Knight that just released? Yeah. I don't know how. We still have like 8 minutes left of this video, even though he's on this wrap-up part. So let's see. Let's see what Mr. MatPat has to say.
So
maybe he'll tell me how to turn Freddy off. Turn off his RGB.
Answer. Now, as I see it, there are two possibilities here. One, an adult robot Elizabeth, like we see older versions of robot kids in the fourth closet, or Mrs. Afton. Could it be someone completely
Oh yeah, they're
franchise?
talking about the CEO.
Yes, but in a game with so many returning faces and repeated themes, it would be pretty random and arbitrary. So, between these two girl bosses, who then would it be? Well,
between these two girl bosses, he's a fan. Mr. MatPat is a fan.
It would be pretty random and arbitrary. So, between these two girl bosses, who then would it be?
Was the term girl boss already a thing in 2023? What year was this video released?
Vanessa's role in all of this. Vanessa is clearly meant to be a
I love
parallel for
Vanessa.
Elizabeth. Same hair, same eyes, similar backstories. But if the main goal is getting the Afton family back together, which seems to clearly be the case in Security Breach, then there's no
Only
need for
one girl
Vanessa
boss
to be
can
involved
survive.
at all. We already have Elizabeth running the show. It would also mean that we suddenly have two robot kids running around, which feels narratively
We've been girl
repetitive and
bossing
quite
for like a
frankly kinda dumb.
decade.
Now look at Mrs. Afton.
Slay.
We know next to
I need to
nothing
learn
about
the
her
history
outside
of
of
girl
the clues that we
bossing,
can
like
get
when
from
it
Lore,
originated,
Restless, and
the
Ballora
origin
songs.
story.
But
Who was
what
the
her
first
dream
girl
Fazbear
boss?
does is make every other piece of the lore fit.
Oh my
Suddenly,
god.
You can have one of every other type of character. One robot kid in Gregory, one brainwashed human in Elizabeth/Vanessa, one OG corpse in William, and one possessed animatronic in Mark.
You know what?
Narratively, it makes
I kind of stan. What a diverse family. Isn't this so sweet? They have human, they have animatronic, they have hacker gamer boy, they have a psychotic mother.
everything
Very
else
diverse.
cleaner. Legally, it's also the option that makes the most sense. As I call out in my narrative, she'd likely have some stake in the original company and all of its assets. So as Fazbear folds as a company, I'd suspect a lot of it would return back to her. But there was one clue that really sold me on this particular direction, and that was this right here. In
What
the
am I looking
post-it
at?
room, the big lore
Post-it
central
room.
security breach, a dinner table scene with the whole family, including the mother. And not only is she there, she's
Joan
at
of
the
Arc
head
was the
of that
original
table,
girl
the
boss.
position of highest honor and
She would be a
responsibility.
great
She is the one in charge, with
representation, a
William
great
being
representative
relegated
for
off to
girl
the side.
bosses.
That one scene shows that we have to include Mom in there somewhere, and the only place it makes sense for her to be is at the top. Now, there is one big dilemma with my interpretation of all this. The Ultimate Guide really seems to point out that the head of Fazbear doesn't want the
I have to go
glitch
now,
trap
so
virus
goodbye.
to
Happy
spread.
Halloween.
They call
Thanks
out
for
one
being here,
particular email in
JB.
FNAF
Have a good
AR
rest
where
of your
the legal team calls a
Halloween.
cease and desist to all action about scanning the circuit boards. And even in FNAF VR, we're told that the circuit boards get stolen back by the client, presumably.
Like, what
once
is
they
this?
realize
What
that
is
the danger
this?
is on there, trying to stop Glitch Trap before he spreads and gets out of hand. Here's the problem with that, though. If the head of Fazbear doesn't want Afton to rise again, why'd they restart the company in the first place? Why'd they build over the FNAF 6 pizzeria? Why'd they go through an elaborate cover-up to make the possessed Vanessa an important part of the company? Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It would be the most
You're so right,
inconsistent
Nat.
series of actions ever, but I did
You're
want
so
to call attention
right.
to it since it seems to be the route that the official guide is trying to steer us towards. Moving on to minor point number 1, the Five Nights at Freddy's games were made by the Rogue indie developer. Here's the thing, FNAF VR opens with this line.
That's why we have recreated many of these completely fictitious scenarios, lines that you've been fed over the last several years into a hilarious VR game.
It's
Oh yeah, it's very funny.
lies
Her, her,
told to
her.
by the indie developer, and since Help Wanted has direct recreations of
Does the
FNAF
Freddy in the
1 through 3,
movies also
games
laugh
must
like
be
her,
part
her,
of the
her?
fabrications
Does he her,
that
her,
this
her in the
developer
movies?
made
He
up.
has to.
Also, all of this is heavily implied in the story of the same name, Help Wanted and Tales of the Pizzaplex, hence FNAF 1 through 3, canon games.
This is
within
making
the
me
lore
really
of the
hungry for
series. Big
pizza.
swing number 2, the elephant, or ghost.
And the taste of children flesh, of course.
John from the channel FNAF has made some great findings about Charlie's influence over the Pizzaplex. The cables that looked like the striped arms of the puppet, the Nightmare-own plushies that you find hidden across the Pizzaplex in weird
I don't
places,
know if
the
he
staff
does.
bots with creepy smiles and
no.
in your dreams written on the front. All of these things scream puppets. Plus, with the puppet mask not having tears in the blob, seems to imply that Charlie's spirit.
Why does this puppet have like sea cucumbers wiggling into its mouth? Is that a thing? Why is this puppet guzzling down some sea cucumbers? Part of the blob. What is this entity called the blob? Fred Fazbear, that's right. Gotta give the fan artist something to work with. No, when I played for the first time last week, I already became aware of some of the ships that happen in this franchise, and I don't know whether I should look for fan art or if I should avoid potential trauma. Like, wasn't there a ship with Chica?
That Charlie's spirit exists elsewhere. She is still in play, and she has an important role, especially in Gregory's post-it room. The doors to the post-it room in the game's code are called Charlie doors. And inside we see a bunch of lit-up nightmare staff bot heads. Suspicious, to say the least. The channel ID Fantasy did a great theory looking at the post-it notes, concluding that
these look like the scribbles of a psychotic individual.
A spirit, Charlie. Charlie's spirit seems to have pulled a
In a white
poltergeist.
padded broom.
Instead of controlling one thing, she's affecting a lot of little details, foundational elements of the Pizzaplex. And this isn't the first time that we've seen this in the franchise either. We've seen spirits communicate.
I'm gonna call every pizzeria a Pizzaplex from now
so
on.
we know that this is an established means of spirit communication within this franchise. And I suspect that to some extent it might be Charlie's influence making Gregory go haywire. Which brings me then to my final and probably
Gregory
biggest
needs to get
controversy in
sent
recent
to
FNAF
gamer
history,
camp.
Gregory as Patient 46, the evil robot mastermind. Now, I know when I first came out with this theory a year ago, people were mad. But here's the thing, you don't have to take my evidence points for it anymore. The recent Tales from the Pizzaplex story, 𝐒𝐤𝐬, basically goes and just outright proves it. In 𝐒𝐤𝐬, we find out about a boy named
𝐒𝐤𝐬.
Gregory
What
who's
does
getting
𝐒𝐤𝐬 stand for? Girly gamer. Yeah. Gregory. Oh, I was like, what? it should be just a single G. I don't know. Gregory.
When therapists start to go missing,
Lame.
it's confirmed that GGY is the one that's working to bump them off. And when animatronics start getting corrupted by a mysterious glitch, GGY's letters are found inside the code. He even chooses the code name Dr. Rabbit, for crying out loud. But obviously, by the time of security breach, Gregory is working against Burns.
It's the nickname he uses for arcade games. Oh, you would have seen it in the leaderboards.
I tend to believe that something must have happened to cause him to either lose his memory or be.
Look how cute he looks here. Okay, never mind.
Charlie talking to him in his post-it room. Maybe he hit his head. Maybe it was the connection that he made with Mike on stage in Glamrock Freddy. Not exactly sure, and I don't think we have enough clues to solve any of it yet. But it makes sense from a story perspective why he'd start off evil on Afton's side and then switch to trying to destroy him and not knowing who he is in security breach. And with that, my friends, I'm wrapping this thing up. Congratulations, we are on page 40. 22,000 words of FNAF, baby. Practically just wrote myself a Tales of the Pizzaplex short story. Have I answered everything? No. Does everything fit cleanly? No. Does it feel like the best and most cohesive narrative for all these characters that
I don't know, I haven't watched the others.
Yeah, for me, honestly, it really does. And let's be honest with ourselves, the DLC will probably come out later this year and prove me completely wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Then comes the movie, whatever. My descent to madness
welcome and thank you for the follow.
I am so proud of this. This was a massive undertaking, and I'm so proud of our editors who have just destroyed the editing across all 4 of these installments. You guys are the best. Thank you for pushing through on 20+ minute uploads. You are unreal, and your talent is unrivaled. I'm so lucky to work with you guys every single day. And like I mentioned before, keep an eye on the channel for an announcement regarding a talkback live stream with some special guests. Was I right? Was I wrong? I want to hear your feedback, so that one's coming up soon. And with that, my friends, we can finally rest. I can leave the demon to its demons with one final reminder that it was all just a theory. A game theory.
A game theory. Whoa! Is that actually the last video in the series? Because now Mr. MatPat is retired. He should have done movie reviews of the FNAF movies. Yo, wow, nice. Nice. They're still doing more videos. It was all a game theory. They just have different hosts now. Oh. Is it like when VTubers get replaced? Like, do they still use the MatPat PNG, but have a new voice actor and they also say they're MatPat? They're like, I'm MatPat. No, new PNGs. I mean, they're an ethical VTuber company. That was so interesting. Skinwalking a PNG would be wild. I'm sure some people wouldn't notice. They're making more FNAF vids. If I can remind you of the 120 they have, that's crazy. Part of the reason he retired is because I think he has a kid now. Oh, cute. The channel is still up, but MatPat and Steph are retired. Oh, a new era. A new era. Went the Felix route, yeah, but did he move to Japan though? That's the real question. To go the Felix route, you have to move to the land of the weebs. You have to eat sushi at least once a week. And you need to know Japanese greetings like konnichiwa, gaijin desu. Well, it's time for me to dip. Byron. Turns have a spooky Halloween. Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you for coming by. Have a good night to you. He's involved in some politics. Wait. I think I heard something like this. I heard of some like famous YouTube guy trying to pass bills in Congress. Is that MatPat? Like something to protect YouTubers? I don't remember. Yeah, he's doing creator rights. That's cool. He's some sort of politician now. That is very different from Felix's weeb route. Wow. Interesting. Alrighty. That was the FNAF Ultimate Timeline. Honestly, Freddy's kind of freaking me out in the corner now. He still hasn't gotten rid of his pink eye, his RGB gamer bloodline. Like, what happened to him? What's wrong with him? I don't know what's wrong with him. It's scaring me. Oh, I don't know. Well, we'll leave him be until we send him to monk training, that is. You didn't cure his pink eye, boss? I thought the cure to pink eye was like drinking green juice, you know? You have to do the opposite complementary color to balance out the pink. So shouldn't he drink some green juice? No, Freddy, get her. No. For a second, I thought you were gonna say bleach. No, don't be silly. I wouldn't say such a thing. I think pink eye is gotten from butt to eye contact. So there's obviously one explanation. You sat on him. I mean, I did watch a Twitter video on my For You page today, and it was a K-pop star who mentioned that she sat on a beehive before because it looked like the shape of her butt. So the same could apply between me and Freddy. Does he look like my bottom? If it was Glamrock Freddy, that'd be believable. Yeah, if it was Glamrock Freddy, I would sit on him, no problem. No questions asked. Freddy is technically Kid Phoenix. Did you have to say something like that? Even Glamrock Freddy? Don't ruin my dreams. Madame Lucy is better, that's true. Madame Lucy is 100% better. One way to find out, turn away real quick. Say, oh, I don't want to get in trouble from YouTube and Twitch. I can't just show my yacht on the internet like that. No, not Glamrock. Oh, thank God. Glamrock Freddy. That lore was insane. I was so confused to the first part of Mr. Matt Pat's video. I was like, Mr. Matt, what are you saying to me right now? I think it's also like the TikTok culture, the TikTok editing. I don't know if I should call it that, but the editing style, the it's like the gazillion red arrows and the finger pointies and the thingamajiggies. I feel like I was experiencing culture shock for the first 10 minutes of the first video, and by the time I like regained consciousness, I was like, what's happening? And then he was already telling me that people were killing children, and I was like, okay, well. He's been editing like that long before TikTok. Yeah, exactly. It's the evolution chain. It's the pre-TikTok era editing, but it would be catering to the same audience type. Not gonna lie, say there is actually a better one, but a different channel, and it's quite longer. We'll watch that next Halloween. He actually explained the science of the editing style. Oh, that would be interesting for creators to watch. So you would focus more if it's TikTok editing? No, probably not. I'm too hag. I'm too hag. Like all the bright colors and the flashing editing style, like it'll give me migraines. But I respect it. You should maybe watch Max Soren's video. Okay. 1 year wait, by then there'll be more books and games. Who's writing these books? I would love if Matt Pat's a ghostwriter for these novels. Myron, thank you for being here, Biotech Psycher. I could see it. But yeah, this was when he was going through the first part of the video, I was like, is this real? I was like, is this all real? What is he saying to me right now? This dancing bear seems so real. I swear I've seen something like this before. Like old adverts about this dancing bear. And then I'm like, and I'm like, oh yeah, some guy who's creating a franchise based on his beloved dancing bear, trying to spread happiness. Yeah, having a co-inventor, starting a pizzeria. Yeah, that seems believable. I can picture that happening in real life in the 1900s. Murdering kids. Oh, that seems realistic too. And then the second video, I'm like, the science isn't sciencing. The creator, he puts the plot points and ideas and hires writers to flesh it out. Better than whatever the creator of Chuck E. Cheese was thinking with that other rat. Now you're making me suspicious of the creator of Chuck E. Cheese. Like, should we investigate the Chuck E. Cheese establishments? Remember, it's just a theory, a game theory. I have video perfect for that. I'm just picturing a documentary about Chuck E. Cheese now. His timeline is for people who have probably watched his other FNAF theory videos, not exactly for new people. Yeah, that's what I caught on to a little bit. But it's okay, I caught on. Especially by the time we got to Vanessa. I remember when FNAF first came out, there were a bunch of rip-offs and they were funny as hell. Interesting. Interesting. She's locked in on Vanessa. I mean, doesn't she seem so sweet? She seems so sweet. And remember, last time we were playing 𝐒𝐿𝐴, I discovered I like blondes. Redheads and blondes, so... Saerin, do your ears burn when you get head pats? You do get some third-degree burns, but I mean, that's okay, right? You don't mind, right? Right? If we investigated Chuck E. Cheese, it's the downfall of their pizzas. Hello. This reminds me of, I don't know if this was another Charlie video, but I think there was like a react to some guy getting arrested at Chuck E. Cheese. Like it was a Chuck E. Cheese mascot, but police officers came to arrest him because he did credit card fraud. And he was still in the Chuck E. Cheese mascot outfit in front of all the children when the police came to arrest him. And it traumatized the children. And there was like an angry mom going like, did you have to do this in front of the children? Huh? And then the police were speaking on their body cam footage afterwards, whispering to each other, the moms are angry that we arrested Chuck E. Cheese in front of the children. What do we do about the moms? You see, even the authorities fear angry mothers. Truly. Third-degree burns is worth it to pet your head and your ears because those are cute. Say will faint if she plays the joy of creation. Why would you? Are you looking down on me? I am such a fearless hellhound. I put the fear in other people's souls. Don't you shake and quiver in your bodies every time I start stream and you see me? I finished the 𝐒𝐿𝐴 campaign on story mode. Nice. We're going to be playing more 𝐒𝐿𝐴 next week. Look at some clips then, Buzz. I dare you. Well, I would, but oh my gosh, my YouTube. What's wrong with my YouTube? It looks like it's bugged. Ah, YouTube. They should fix these little disconnecting thingamajiggies. I don't know. But I'm still stuck on normal chapter 20. You're so far ahead of me there. Matt Pad did talk about Chuck E. Cheese in one of their FNAF theories. Chuck E. Cheese must have been some inspiration, right? But I did see other videos. I really like watching food-related videos while I eat. So I was watching another one where someone was visiting strange diners in America, and there was one diner located in the South with animatronics. And the building looked like a giant girl. Like the actual restaurant building looked like a giant girl with a big fat skirt, and you would go into the skirt to enter into the diner. Yeah, it was pretty weird. It was pretty weird. So these animatronic restaurants did exist. I won't spoil anything, but stuff happens. I'm excited for the stuff. At least it wouldn't be hard to find. Yeah, a great landmark, I'm sure. But this FNAF lore was weirder than I thought it would be. It was weirder than I thought it would be. I thought, remember when we were playing last week, when we were playing FNAF 1? I thought that only Freddy had a human in him. Because I was like, what makes Freddy different from all the other animatronics? There has to be something special about him. So I thought he had a living human that was trapped in his body, and he's been in there so long that he thought he was one of the other animatronics. So he was scaring off all the other humans that they saw. But no, it was worse. Of course, it was worse. Sounds like the opposite of Hooters. Exactly right. If you think this was weird, your brain will melt if you watch all of their FNAF vids. I feel like I'm gonna go on a FNAF lore binge watch. But why do the animatronics look so weird? That's what I'm saying. Couldn't they have made them at least a little cuter in the beginning? Like they start dank and end dank. Were they never in nice, pristine condition? The best looking one was definitely the elephant. The elephant was cute. And Vanessa. On the other hand, FNAF Into the Pit is free on Epic. Ooh! Should I grab it? Say, please don't tell me you watched the lore of FNAF. I didn't watch the lore of FNAF. There are, we just don't have the official game models. There's a fan-made version of the models, undamaged. I don't know who decided to put animatronics in restaurants and things like that, point blank. Like, since they are real things in the world and there are animatronic run restaurants, I'm like, who thought this was a good idea? Who thought that this was an establishment for children? Like, there are robot cafes in Japan. Those are cool. Those are cool. They don't pretend to be something they're not. But these animatronic fursuits, It's to entertain children. I can see the vision. I would be scarred as a child. I was a child of taste. I could see through their beady, evil eyes. The Kono Avatari. Appeal to the furries. No, no! We're not going to start furryfying the children. Akula Glass, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Is Saerin getting spooked? Oh, that's what I was saying. I would say I don't get scared easily. I don't get scared easily. I just don't know the definition of fear. I have never felt it before. I'm just, what do the kids say? Built different. Hellblazer, thank you for the follow. Welcome into hell. I'm there. You thought. And we have played a few horror games on our YouTube channel before. We have played Resident Evil. We've played Signalis. We've played... Monica! What's the one with Monica? The visual novel. DDLC, yes. We played DDLC. Doki Doki Literature Club. And we played, what was the more recent visual novel one? With Mika? What's her name? Mika? I forget. Me-side! Yeah! We played Me-side. Mita! Yeah. Out of those 4, if I were to rank them based on horror level, I feel like definitely Resident Evil is the most classic horror-esque. They have the monsters, they have the creepy crawlies, they have the dark spaces, but it's like mixed with action. B-Side is not a visual novel, yeah, 3D game. But I think my favorite out of those 4, they're so different. I like DDLC and Signalis. Isn't there a new Resident Evil coming out soon? I want to play the Resident Evil with the hot, tall lady. I haven't played that one yet. Soma would be good to play. Ah, a lot of my friends have been playing Soma. That's 7. Yeah, Resident Evil 7. Oh, didn't Little Nightmares come out? Little Nightmares, the new Little Nightmares game? I haven't actually seen many people talking about it. It's out now, isn't it? Little Nightmares 3, yeah. I haven't seen too many people streaming it, which I'm surprised by. I love Little Nightmares. I've played Little Nightmares 2. More of a co-op. Oh, maybe that's why. They're just so cute in their little rain jackets, their little outfits. Why are they so cute? I love. Some people didn't vibe with the story. Oh. I feel like that's the difficulty when you have such highly anticipated games like the Hollow Knight that came out and then Little Nightmares. It's hard to live up to expectation. It's hard. A couple of the VTubers I know are doing the co-op playthrough. That sounds fun. But I feel like sometimes it's hard to keep up with these co-op games because they're so long and then you have to clear out your schedule the whole time for the collabos, so it's a little hard to stream. That's why I only collab with VTubers off stream most of the time. While playing League of Legends. I don't know, do you call that a collab? I got curious with the masked women in the first game. The masked women. Enjoy Pain later, aka League of Legends. Yeah, I do have a League appointment for after this. I always play League with Isa, who's also another streamer, another YouTuber on YouTube. And we always start playing when it's midnight. I don't know what's wrong with her. She'll always hit me up at like 11:30 p.m. and say, leak? ? And do a cute face emoji. And I'm like, what can I do when there's a cute girl making a floosh emoji in my DMs? I have to say yes. And then we play from midnight to like 2 a.m. There's something wrong here. It truly is a horror game. We're playing it in the middle of the night, in hushed tones and voices. Jump scares through the jungle. It's frightening. Boss folds instantly with cute girls. You know what? I think I need to be more sociable overall though. I need to get into more girls' DMs, but like, I feel like because all the female VTubers I know are freaky, I forgot how to socialize with normal girls. Like I'll be like chatting up some girly pops in my DMs, and then this'll be like our third conversation, and I'll say, hey babe, how you doing? And I think that scares them off. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't go into the babe pet names anymore. I just default in calling everyone babe now. I feel like that could come off wrong. Maidenless behavior? No, the problem is I have too many maidens, but they're all crazy. Didn't she say she's horseback riding tomorrow? I will be going horseback riding, but we will have our reverse stream tomorrow night. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing will come between me and reverse 1999. Hello, Timothy. Welcome in. That's what I mean by RRL Umamusume. I don't know if I'll be able to race the horse, but I'll be like, we have to beat them. I've gone on this horseback riding trail before in my past, like a year or so ago, I went on the same horseback riding trail, and it's very calm, gentle, scenic. They're big, gentle beasts. And it's a trail for 1 hour where all the horsies go down the trail single file. And you have to rein in your horsies because they like taking snacks and eating the tree branches next to them. But we're not supposed to let them stop and eat. So we're like, bad horsey, no nom noms. I said no nom noms. And then in the middle of the 1 hour trail, they'll stop at a really beautiful scenic point where you're overlooking like the farm and the sunset. And all of the horses in unison will start peeing. In a single file line, with us still on their backs, all of the horses overlooking the scenic view will start peeing. Yeah. And before I've gone horseback riding, I was always perplexed. Like, how do the horsies pee and not get their tails dirty? Well, the horses open the floodgates, perk up their tails before peeing. So there's that answer. Very great. Very, very nice. Raised like a flag, exactly. Are you ready to go to war? No. Our next stream is going to be tomorrow, but it's going to be a YouTube only stream. We're going to be streaming Reverse 1999 over on YouTube, and it's going to be the new 3.0 story patch, which takes place during the Great War. Our nickname for Reverse 1999 is indeed Depression 1999, and we're going straight into the Great Depressive War. I'm so sure that the Reverse 1999 game creators sit in a boardroom together and think, oh, you know what? Our fans have this really cute fan name for our game, Depression 1999. So we have to live up to our name, right? We have to live up to our name. What could be more depressing than the war? Let's have our 3.0, the big 3.0 story patch take place in the war. Yeah, that sounds great, Bob. Love your ideas. Let's get some donuts. It's crazy. It's crazy work. Crazy work. But all right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to our Halloween cozy chatting FNAF lore learning stream. I hope all of you had a great time. Stay safe if you're going to any Halloween parties or doing any Halloween festivities. I know it was more of a chill, relaxing Halloween. Last year we did a whole pumpkin carving scenario where I almost lit my setup on fire. So we went the cozy route this time. Cozy, just like learning about serial killers, animatronics, the good stuff. Our next stream is going to be once again tomorrow on the YouTube side, so I hope I'll see all of you there. And we'll be continuing on with some 𝐒𝐚𝐭. I think we're going to do 2 𝐒𝐒𝐿 streams next week, so keep your eyes peeled for the schedule. We'll be putting that schedule out on Sunday. 𝐂𝐚𝐭, thank you so much for the follow. So I hope to see all of you there. Yeah. We're gonna be raiding into my friend Croc, who's a dinosaur VTuber, and he recently debuted his 2D model before he was streaming with a 3D model. So we can go over there, check out his new model, and congratulate him on his recent debut. And he's playing Fright Fest horror games. Spoopy. See y'all there. Yang! And for all you YouTube people, thank you so much for coming here, and I'll see all of you tomorrow. 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐭! 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐭! Ow! I must be honest. I did not think I would find a wifey in FNAF. But Vanessa, though.